Hey guys, this is Anime Ball Z here, and today we're going to be doing the opening part of What If Goku Had a System. Please like the video if you haven't already and subscribe. It's totally free and you can unsubscribe whenever you want. There's nothing much else I'd like to say in the intro, so without further ado, let's get into the video.
Slick talker since a jit. Winter time, all the time, ooh, yeah. Look at the way that I move, swag. Disrespectful and I'm rude, okay. I had cocaine in the school.
To begin with, Goku's early years are very similar. He still ends up transforming into an Uzaru and killing his adopted father, Grandpa Gohan. This means that Goku lives a solitary life as a child for many years, but still manages due to his strength and survival skills. One day though, about a year or two before the arrival of Bulma in the series, Goku sees an odd system panel appear by his side. He turns around and seems totally spooked by this. Goku hasn't even been to a city and hasn't really seen technology, so this glowing panel projection looks totally alien to him. Is this some technique or something, he thinks, looking around for threats. He finds no one, then stands up to see that this glowing white screen follows him around too. Configuring. Welcome to the Ultimate Saiyan system. Ultimate Saiyan system? What's a Saiyan and what's a system? He asks himself, scratching his head. Upon thinking this, another panel appears just in front of this one. User Kakarot brackets Goku. Titles none. Key control 5, intelligence 1, reflexes 5, durability 5, and adaptability 2. Is this referring to me? Why are they saying my name's Kakarot? My name's Goku, Goku blurts out upon seeing this message. The system refers to all names of the user. The first name displayed is the name given to the user at birth. This message just confuses Goku since Grandpa Gohan is his adopted grandfather. Did he name him? That doesn't really make sense. He should be his grandfather and not his father, but everything doesn't make much sense to him. That's got to be wrong. My name's Son Goku, Goku claims, pointing at himself. The system gives no reply and just puts this situation to rest. New technique, Key Blast. New quest, tutorial quest, foundation. Follow the basic Saiyan training program every day for 90 days. Rewards, system completion. Goku doesn't really understand the stuff that's shown to him and it makes sense. He's never been to school and was only educated to a basic level by Grandpa Gohan. He also hit his head as a child, so he just dismisses this notification and continues his day as normal. The panels eventually disappear and Goku just attributes what happened to some weird hallucination or something. As he wakes up, something then happens. He wakes up to this panel. Quest failed, system punishment activated. Goku doesn't even have time to think about what's happening before he is then transported to another area. It's like a grassland and Goku can't really understand why he's been sent here. As he looks up, he can see a massive Uzaru being staring down at him with red eyes. Goku makes his stance and tries to reach for his staff only to realise that it's gone completely. The Uzaru swings down its arms and slams Goku into the floor vehemently, breaking the bones in his body. Goku screams in pain, then continues receiving punch after punch, even being forced to take ki blasts head on. It's totally brutal and Goku in real life is just on the ground, trembling and drooling. Even if his mind isn't directly controlling his body anymore, the pain just makes him twitch and tremble subconsciously. After a full 30 minutes of that ruthless breakdown, Goku's mind is returned to the real world and he is more than grateful to be relieved of all that tormenting agony. What just happened, he thinks, tapping his body down to see if he has any injuries. The user didn't complete the quest and the punishment was issued. This level of language isn't really something that Goku can follow since he just isn't really educated. You didn't do the quest asked and so got punished. Oh, so I guess this thing really is real then, Goku realises. The same quest that he got before is then issued out again. Goku then looks at the panel and wonders what this training regimen actually is. What is the program? I haven't been told what to actually do, Goku says, puzzled. The user can activate the program by saying activate program internally. He follows this command, then a large projection appears in front of him. It's about 6 foot tall, then begins becoming 3-dimensional. It resembles a humanoid being, then becomes a projection of someone that looks like a Saiyan. There is a slight blue shade to his appearance and he has a wiggling tail with blue and black armor. Welcome Saiyan to the Ultimate Saiyan system. You probably do not know who I am as my name has been written out of history, but my name is Yamoshi. Here I'll be guiding you through the basic Saiyan training program, he explains. Goku is attentive and doesn't want to go through that agony that he had been put through previously. Goku goes outside, then this projection follows him by walking in the same way to himself. Are you real? Goku asks, going up to touch him. His hand phases right through his body and the Saiyan man starts laughing. No, young Saiyan, I am merely a projection. I am built into the system you now have and must help you with this program, that is all. You are the only person that I can interact with. The first part of his program is physical training. Yamoshi directs him to some forests and says that he should be using the branches for things like pulling exercises. The difficulty of the program is relative to his strength, so it pushes him right to the limit but not past it. It also consists of hand-to-hand combat where he learns different fighting techniques. He is also surprised by the fighting style being taught to him. Unlike Grandpa Gohan's fighting style, it seems wilder and more brutish. A lot of the attacks use exaggerated swings and strikes meant to draw the full power of the user of the martial art out. After several hours of this heavy training, it finishes off with some light training that's focused more on his mind. This is ki control training. It makes him meditate and learn to gather the ki inside him. As the training program finishes, Goku lifts up, clearly tired. That is all I need to show you today. I hope you continue steadily down this path to becoming a strong Saiyan warrior. Goodbye, Saiyan, Yamoshi says, waving before vanishing completely. As he disappears, Goku returns home to then see a bunch of food appear out of thin air. There are bowls and bowls of rice, meat and other nutritious things in there, then he literally devours what is there completely. He feels quite full after eating all that food, then continues with his program the following day. The days turn into weeks, which then turn into months. Yamoshi continues to guide Goku through his training and he starts making some astounding progress. It's more progress than he ever achieved with Grandpa Gohan and by himself, and his power level reaches 25 before he knows it. So that's the program. If you continue down this path, some more training programs should await you. I'll see you later, young Saiyan. After that, Yamoshi disappears and the program is complete. Quest complete. System complete. +1 intelligence, +1 durability. Goku can feel this immediate boost in power, but he can also understand more of this system as he looks at it again. His intelligence has grown and his durability has also grown, and he can feel his body has become sturdier in that regard. User, Kakarot brackets Goku, titles none. Ki control 5, intelligence 2, reflexes 5, durability 6, adaptability 2. Skills unlocked, +1 skill, Ki blast, a discharged portion of ki that explodes upon impact with a solid object. +1 skill, flight, the user can fly. Goku looks quite excited upon seeing these skills and remembers Yamoshi talking to him about these techniques. He extends his hand and shoots out a ki blast that hits into a wall of an adjacent mountain. A large portion of the rock is shaved right off in one go, and this surprises Goku quite a lot. He does it again in quick succession and laughs upon seeing how powerful the attack is. He then moves on to his other skill. Once he thinks about flying, he doesn't feel much and thinks it's not working until he feels a sense of weightlessness. He then begins truly flying and it's unbelievable to him. New quest, Novice. Follow the Novice Saiyan training program for 365 days. Rewards, 2 skills, 1 item. For this program, Yamoshi is here to help, but what changes is just the contents of the program. In this program, Goku starts learning how to use his Uzaru form every full moon. Yamoshi is there to try and keep him sane and controlled, but he doesn't have a physical body to contain him. Also, he starts hitting himself with his very own ki blasts. He is reluctant to do it at first, but he notices that his power starts climbing through the roof when he heals from those injuries. After 10 months though, Goku starts making some progress and doesn't go berserk whenever he transforms. He just becomes timid and calm, but he isn't smart enough to talk or fight in any skilled way. 2 more months pass and Goku has gained a significant boost to his strength. His power level has now reached 100 before even the start of Dragon Ball, and his quest is complete. Quest complete, +1 skill, Uzaru power. The strength of the Uzaru form increases by 2 times for 30 seconds, causes heavy stamina drain. Skill, Powerball. The user can create a small artificial moon with enough Blutz waves to begin the Uzaru transformation. Goku likes the sound of those 2 skills, but then another system panel appears. New item, the Saiyan Book of Legends #1, The Legend of the Super Saiyan. I wonder what this is about, Goku says. He hasn't read a book ever since Gohan's passing, but he would like to see what this book is all about. After all this training, Goku is really starting to believe that he is a Saiyan. He asked Yamoshi why his system called him Kakarot, but it seemed like he didn't know the answer. He would simply not reply to his question or give some witty reply that was totally vague. This is around June age 749, so a few months before the start of Dragon Ball. He starts reading and is immediately engaged by the literature. He never thought he'd like to read, but since it's about his supposed heritage, he just can't stop reading it. It details a special Saiyan that was of kind heart and righteous. A Saiyan that directly battled the evil of the Saiyan race to try and bring them down. Goku likes the idea of this Saiyan since he is of pure heart himself. He feels like this Saiyan being described is a lot like him, and to be honest, a lot like Yamoshi. The months pass and he continues to read this book talking about the history of the Saiyans. Bulma arrives on September 1st just like usual and asks for his Dragon Ball. However, he declines and then eventually explains her quest to acquire all the Dragon Balls. Goku has nothing better to do and lacks the idea of what this summoned Shenron can do, therefore he decides to follow her on her quest to acquire these supposed Dragon Balls. Upon just meeting Master Roshi, Goku sees the Kamehameha wave being used and then sees a notification appear from his system. Skill acquired, skill Kamehameha wave. The user can output a powerful energy wave of discharged ki that explodes upon hitting a solid object. Goku smiles upon seeing this notification appear, then uses his Kamehameha wave by aiming it at the sky. He's been using ki blasts and has noticed that he can destroy whole mountains with them. If this Kamehameha wave is stronger than that, then he could really wreck something if this blast were to hit it. Therefore he aims it into the sky so it doesn't actually hit anything on Earth. The blue energy wave blasts into the sky, blasting open a cloud and flying out into space. Roshi watches this happen, astonished with the young boy's talent and power. He managed to copy a technique that took him decades to master after seeing it merely once. The Emperor Pilaf saga continues, and they still end up getting trapped by the Emperor using sleeping gas. When they are trapped though, Goku leaps up to the glass roof over their heads and shatters it with a single punch. They're all able to escape through this way, but the Dragon Balls have already been taken. After this event, Goku finishes the book given to him by his system and receives some rewards for doing such. +1 intelligence, +1 item, the same book of legends number 2, The Rise of Vegeta the First. Goku then begins reading this second book and can read a lot more of the words that he can see on the page. It's like he's gotten way smarter in a flash and he can absorb the information much better and much easier. Instead of talking about the first Super Saiyan, this book is talking about basically how the Saiyan world was much before King Cold's conquest. It also talks about how the very first king of the Vegeta line came to be king. Just for your information, these are Goku's stats now. User Kakarot (Goku). Titles none, Ki Control 5, Intelligence 3, Reflexes 5, Durability 6, Adaptability 2. This saga ends, but Goku then starts training under Master Roshi with Krillin. When Master Roshi tries to time Goku, he zips across the 100-meter distance in a flash. Krillin is jealous but also stunned, and their training begins. Roshi must make Goku go through a lot more for him to progress. Even with all the extra effort Goku goes through, he can still handle the training better than Krillin can. After this tough training, Goku's power level reaches up to 140, while Krillin's reaches around the same it was in canon. Before the tournament, Goku receives this system quest. Quest Tournament. Win the tournament and become the world's strongest fighter. Rewards 1 item. The first match that goes through some significant change is the match between Goku and Giran. Goku flies right at Giran and punches him once, launching him right off the ring in one go. With the finals, Krillin is still defeated by Jackie Chun in the same way, and Nam has a much tougher time against Goku. He rushes in and tries to kick Goku. The Saiyan grabs his kick before swinging around to slam him into the floor. Master Roshi is surprised with the boy's brutality and doesn't remember training him to fight in such a way. Once Nam raises back up, Goku slugs forward his fist and totally rocks him with this single strike. He is eliminated and Goku advances to the final match. Goku is up against Jackie Chun and the fight begins being quite equal. They trade blows and Goku is actually going light this time. They seem to go toe to toe in the first tournament in canon, so this means that Jackie Chun won't be doing much to stop the force that is Goku in this what if. Jackie Chun charges forward and throws a multitude of punches while Goku turtles up to block each one. They land on his forearms and he just gets pushed back slightly upon receiving each attack. He seems relatively unharmed. For the next punch that comes his way, he slips past it and punches the man in his chest. Before he can fall back though, Goku wraps his tail around one of his wrists and pulls him back to then land a subsequent strike as he is pulled toward him again. This is a technique taught to him in the Novice Saiyan program as just a gimmicky way to use his extra body part. Roshi looks a little stunned after taking those 2 punches, but he remains resilient. He begins using his buffed up full power state and shocks the crowd with his bulging muscles. He smiles at Goku before charging forward to try and attack him. Goku prepares himself but receives quite a strong punch right to his jaw. It sends him staggering back across the ring, then he wildly swings at Roshi, who evades. Once Goku's fist is fully extended, he lands a kick to his stomach then a punch to his face. Goku is beat down with these attacks and it seems like there is nothing to do to turn the fight back in his favour. Jackie Chun was hoping to have ended this fight a little more quickly since he is using a lot more of his stamina, but he is willing to be a little tired to make sure his trainee doesn't get a hot head by winning. Goku is beat to the edge of the ring and has blood trickling down from his nose and mouth. The fight is pretty much over for him, but there is one last trick up his sleeve. He looks right to the moon behind Roshi and this begins his transformation. His muscles begin to bulge up and grow furry as he grows. His power increases tenfold and his power level reaches a whopping 1400. He doesn't think his other skill, the Uzaru power, will be needed here and he lands a single kick to Jackie Chun that launches him out the ring entirely. Goku is deemed the winner of the World Martial Arts Tournament, but Goku doesn't seem to be able to transform back into his human form. He is happy to see that he has pretty much complete control over his mind now though. He doesn't feel angrier than he usually does, but it's just that he can't actually return to his ordinary humanoid state. The prize money is given to Roshi, who takes it in his stead since it looks like Goku isn't really in a state to do that. Goku then follows his friends in this gigantic form that he must remain in until the full moon has passed. Quest complete, +1 item, Ancient Power Seed. A rare seed that when consumed can unlock the latent potential of the user. Goku likes the sound of this item, but when he goes to try and eat it, it hovers above his mouth like there's an invisible force field in between him and the seed. The user cannot ingest this seed due to having insufficient battle power. Goku tries again only to meet the exact same message. Alright then, he tells himself before pocketing the seed. This means that all he has to do is grow stronger so that in the future he can eat the seed and get stronger right away. As for the Red Ribbon Army saga, things will certainly go differently. For the first part of the saga with General White and Android 8 and things, it goes pretty much the same. The Red Ribbon Army stand no chance against him, and this includes people like Mercenary Tao. When Goku uses his Power Ball and transforms, he can wreak havoc then just destroy such fake moon when he's finished. It's a great thing to have. Hidden quest complete, defeat the Red Ribbon Army, new title, One Man Army, +1 skill, Precision Strike. The user's battle power increases by 5 times for a single punch that lands perfectly where the user intends it to. Requires a lot of ki and causes heavy stamina drain. +1 all stats. +1 item, level 1 champion's gi. A special golden gi that can be worn by the user. It's a one-size-fits-all gi that is lightweight and provides the user with a 2x power boost. It also triples the user's durability stat. Goku gets quite interested in this item and decides to put it on right away. User Kakarot (Goku). Titles, One Man Army. Ki control 6, intelligence 4, reflexes 6, durability 21, 7x3, adaptability 3. For the following saga it goes pretty similar, except that he dominates in his fight against Grandpa Gohan. Before the next saga comes up though, the King Piccolo saga, Goku finishes his book on the rise of Vegeta the First. He closes the book, then a message appears once he shuts it. The book then vanishes in the process. Transformations unlocked. Transformations, he wonders, looking at the system panel. Transformation Full Super Saiyan. The user transforms into this state, providing a 25x boost to their original strength. Stamina drain is moderate and requires 100 S power. S power 50 out of 100. S power. What is S power? He asks the system. S power refers to how many S cells the user has within their body. The user requires a certain number of S cells to achieve a Saiyan transformation, quantified by the S power scale. The user can increase the number of S cells in their body through having a kind heart and increasing their battle power. The following saga is the 22nd Tenkaichi Budokai. This is where Goku really gets to shine and show off his newfound abilities. His power level is now 500 after frequent Zenkai boosts. With Uzaru and Uzaru power, his power level can reach as high as 10,000. He finally achieves an S power of 100 and hopes to use the power he's trained so hard to possess after all this time. However, now that he has gotten so strong, he remembers about the ancient power seed that he still has in his possession. He's looking to grow even stronger like Goku always does and decides to see if he's strong enough to eat the seed. He tries to place it in his mouth and finds that it drops right in. The seed is surprisingly sweet and chewy, then once he swallows he can feel his ki almost bursting out from his body. His aura blasts outward and he feels a great boost to his strength right away. With this seed his power level doubles, reaching 1000. +7 durability. User Kakarot (Goku). Titles, One Man Army. Ki control 6, intelligence 4, reflexes 6, durability 14, adaptability 3. Whoa, he thinks upon feeling how much stronger he's become. Now for the 22nd Tenkaichi Budokai. Before it begins, Goku receives another notification from his system. New quest, back to back. Settle this tournament and win for the 2nd time in a row. Rewards, ? Goku is happy to have received another quest after this dry few years of plain training. After finishing those 2 books on Saiyan history, he hadn't really gotten many quests and just had to train to unlock this transformation of his. Not only that, but the question marks entice him even more and he's excited to see what he's going to get from completing this quest. In this tournament, he's looking to use it for the first time. Goku faces this human boxer Pamput and we all know what's going to happen here. The boxer gets demolished in one attack and is eliminated. For the following match, Goku is against Krillin. Goku wants to give Krillin a good fight since he has seen how strong the human has become, however he knows that he has to win. They trade blows for a time and Krillin feels like he's doing extremely well. Goku doesn't expose his full power to many people since he really doesn't have to. There hasn't really been a threat where he's had to become an Uzaru and use Uzaru power to defeat them. He just never need a power above like 500 to defeat anyone in Dragon Ball, and his base is well beyond that now. Also, Goku feels little to nothing of the attacks landing on his body. With his much higher strength and the champion gear that he is wearing, the attacks are doing no damage whatsoever. Krillin steps back, then shoots forward his Kamehameha wave, but Goku swats it away into the sky. He then lands a light punch to Krillin that throws him right off the ring and eliminates him. The fight is over and Goku is deemed the winner of this semi-finals match. The final match is against Tien and Goku just wants to finish this off as quickly as possible. He's too impatient, and since that quest has question marks beside its rewards, he wants to end this right now. He crouches down, then begins trying to activate this transformation. As he does this, he can feel his ki growing and he envelops in a powerful silver aura. His power continues to climb and grow, making the ground beneath him shake. Tien watches on incredulously, and it helps that none of the people here can sense his ki. If they could, they never would have even stepped foot on this arena to face him. Goku's hair lifts and his muscles enlarge, then his power level skyrockets. He shouts from this influx of ki and power, and he finally enters his new form, full Super Saiyan. His pupils are gone and he smiles from this power that he's received. Tien just stands there, then uses his tri-beam while Goku is stood still like a sitting duck. The blast hits him head on but does no damage at all. What? Tien wonders, watching this happen. This attack is the most famed of Master Shen. However, it's done nothing against Goku. The Saiyan charges forward and lands a single punch to Tien that knocks him out even though he didn't hit his head. It leaves him in a bad state and Goku is deemed the winner of the tournament. The other people, even the members of the Turtle Hermit School, don't understand how Goku has grown this powerful. Not only that, but they also have no clue what trick he just pulled there. Master Roshi initially thinks it might have something to do with his own full power buff form, but after seeing his hair rise and his pupils disappear, he knows it must be something else. Quest complete, item level up, item level 2 champion gi. A special golden gi that can be worn by the user. It's a one-size-fits-all gi that is lightweight and provides the user with a 3x power boost. It also triples the user's durability stat. Plus one technique, Technique Sadala Slash. A technique created by the ancient Saiyans on planet Sadala, the user can create a powerful slashing technique that has incredible cutting abilities. With even more rewards, Goku is happy to know that his power can seemingly grow endlessly with this system of his. However, the rewards aren't done yet. New stat, Perception. User Kakarot brackets Goku. Titles 1 Man Army, Ki Control 6, Intelligence 4, Reflexes 6, Durability 42, 14 times 3, Adaptability 3, Perception 5. Goku leaves some of his stuff back at the tournament and Krillin offers to go get his things for him. In the end, he is killed by Tambourine and Goku goes over to see his dead body lying there. In a fit of rage, he powers back up into his full Super Saiyan state. His transformation destroys some of the building that he is within and he then stands up to look outside. Goku then tracks down Tambourine and moves so quickly that the Namekian can barely even react. He is hit with a single punch from Goku that shatters his skull and kills him. He falls from the skies and Goku just remains in flight, breathing heavily from his rage. King Piccolo creates another son, Symbol, that tries to find the Dragon Balls. However, Goku also defeats Symbol once he finds him. King Piccolo is enraged by the death of his children and decides to go out to find this Goku that has defeated both of them. He eventually does find the kid, but Goku remains unfazed upon watching him near. Goku has never met anybody strong enough to even make him go full power in his base form. He's sure that this will be the same for this old looking warrior. However, Goku has been taught by people like Yamoshi and Roshi to never underestimate a foe. He doesn't do so and makes his stance in preparation for the inevitable battle. King Piccolo shouts and charges at the fighter to try and throw his first attack. His punch doesn't even land and the Saiyan catches it before it can amount to much. Before the Demon King can even remove his fist, Goku gets a tighter grip on it and makes sure that he can't pull it back at all. He then shoots forward his other hand and launches his demon wave from extremely close up. He even gets some collateral damage from using such a powerful energy wave from close up, but Goku is revealed to have no injuries. Goku twists the man's wrist before landing a powerful strike right to his stomach to knock the wind right out of him. He wheezes and drops to his knees and he surprises the other fighters that surround him. They assume that they'd have to seal King Piccolo with the Mafuba technique, but Goku has brought the mighty Demon King to his knees in a single strike. "You people will pay for what you did to Krillin," Goku says, lifting his hand up to his face. King Piccolo coughs blood and barely even has the strength to lift up. Goku gets ready to blast the Namekian to smithereens, but is stopped before he can do a thing. "Wait, if I die here, the Dragon Balls will become nothing. Your precious protector, Kami, will die with me. Our lives are linked. Killing one of us takes both of us away," King Piccolo announces. Goku hesitates before grumbling and dropping his hand. He turns, trying to think of what to do. He is currently looking at the ground, then King Piccolo has a mischievous smile on his face. He leaps up to try and attack him, but Goku waves his hand and uses the Sadala Slash. An explosion is given off while his slash of energy cuts deep into the ground. King Piccolo is arrogant, but he knows that if he got hit by that, he'd be dead. Goku then zooms toward the king and taps his neck, knocking him out in one go. He then gets the Dragon Balls and summons Shenron. With this, Krillin is revived, then the Dragon Balls disperse. With King Piccolo knocked out, Master Roshi could perform the Mafuba, but he's quite old and weak. If he uses it, he's sure that he'll just die, so to them that isn't an option right now. They must consider other options. For the time being, they just get Kami to make some special confinements on his body with his ability to materialize things from nothing. The threat has been neutralized for now and the world is back at peace. Krillin is alive once again and Goku is grateful that that's the case. The King Piccolo arc has drawn to a close and the large period between this arc and the next ensues. New quest, intermediate program. Begin the intermediate Saiyan training program and complete every day for 365 days. Rewards ? Goku follows up with this quest and the training is much harder than any form of training that he had gone through previously. Yamoshi is harsh and urges Goku to push himself as much as he can. He also has a lot more focus on things like meditation and controlling his ki. Yamoshi starts teaching him about controlling one's ki to make sure that ki doesn't leak from the body. When this happens, you can fight for longer and at full power for longer too. With the power of Zenkai's at his aid, his progress for training is immense. Upon going to the lookout to drop off King Piccolo, we also saw Korin and the items that he has to offer, senzu beans. Along with large nutritious meals, Goku has senzu beans to further accelerate his growth. This makes his power level grow even more quickly and he sees some explosive power growth. His power level after this year of training reaches a whopping 20,000. He is focusing on using his Zenkai boosts while also perfecting his fighting style and skill. This makes his training very effective for a Saiyan like himself. Quest complete, +1 ki control, +1 reflexes, +1 perception. User Kakarot brackets Goku, titles 1-man army. Ki control 7, intelligence 4, reflexes 7, durability 14, adaptability 3, perception 6. New transformation Super Saiyan. A powerful transformation that provides a 50 times multiplication to one's basic strength. Requires 250 S power 131 out of 250. This is gonna be a process, Goku tells himself upon seeing this notification. For him to get more S power, all he can really do is get stronger. He already has the other stage covered, which is just having a pure heart. New transformation Ikari. Utilize the power of the Uzaru in your base form. Receive the boost to power from the Uzaru state without any speed reduction. This requires an extra amount of training to control one's beastly instincts in just their base form. Now this form seems like quite the form to use. If he can learn to use it in his base form, there will be little decrease in his speed and he could still fight in the same way that he does usually. He does have stronger forms to use like full Super Saiyan, but he still feels like this form could be an asset to him anyway. Kami doesn't choose to teach Goku here because he seems to already be far above his level. He can already fly and has amazing ki control. Even though he fights fiercely, his control and mastery over his ki is truly profound. Goku continues training on his own using the senzu beans from Korin's tower to fuel his strength. His system becomes quite inactive for the time being, but he isn't really bothered. By the time of the Piccolo Jr. saga, Goku's power level is 50,000. In this world tournament, Piccolo Jr. isn't a thing as King Piccolo has been imprisoned on the lookout. Therefore, Goku wins relatively easily, and the system doesn't even give him any rewards for his win. After this is over though, Goku's S power reaches 250, which is what he needs to achieve Super Saiyan. Solitarily training near the Kame house, Goku begins to power up and tries to harness this strength. He can feel the rage inside him growing wildly, then he finally ascends and transforms. His body is illuminated by a glowing golden aura and his hair rises also. It looks divine and godlike, while his body feels way stronger than it once was. Hidden quest complete, modern Super Saiyan. Be the first Saiyan in centuries to achieve the Super Saiyan state. Item upgraded, item level 3 champion gi. A special golden gi that can be worn by the user. It's a one-size-fits-all gi that is lightweight and provides the user with a 3 times power boost. It also triples the user's durability stat. While the user wears the gi, it provides a healing factor to slowly heal them from minor to moderate injuries. New item, Ring of Yamoshi. A ring containing the energy of the super powerful godly ki of Yamoshi. The user can extract certain percentages of the ring's power relative to the strength of the user's body. Extracting too high of a percentage of Yamoshi's god ki can result in grave injury or even death. Goku is surprised by the Ring of Yamoshi because he feels like he could really use a lot of power with it. However, he doesn't really know what the system means by godly ki. Anyway, he puts that thought to rest and eagerly puts on the glistening golden ring. The ring is sleek and glossy, embellished with intricate, captivating engravings. So how do I actually use the power, he asks. To use a percentage of the power stored within the Ring of Yamoshi, simply internally state the percentage that you wish to be transferred throughout your body. Goku gets ready to do just that, but he then receives another message. This time it's a warning message. However, it is still very ill-advised that the user with such low battle power tries to utilize this item. Goku understands this message and it scares him a little. However, he isn't looking to try and use the form for a long period of time. He just wants to use a slither of the power to see what it can do to him and his strength. So he doesn't want to try and use it with Super Saiyan just yet because he feels like that'll do too much to his body. If he had the stamina and physical drain from both Super Saiyan and this mystical power source, he'd be surely placing far too much strain on his body. Therefore, he decides to see what he can do with just his base form. 0.5%, he commands, trying to use just a small fraction of the power. There is a slight vibration in the ring on his finger, and he then sees red ki emanating from the glowing ring. Seconds later, as the ki begins to enter his body, he feels a large amount of strain on it, and the veins on his skin start pulsating and looking far more visible. He grunts in pain and his eyes flash red, and he then engulfs in a glowing fiery red aura. However, his hair remains black and his physical appearance doesn't really change. From now, Goku's power level is even stronger than it was with Super Saiyan using just this fraction of the power. However, Goku has seen that he's going to have to train before he can use the power freely. Alright, stop now, he commands. The ki begins to be sucked into the ring like it's a vacuum, and he feels a sense of relief wash over him as the ki is being called back to the ring. He sighs after being relieved of the pain, then tries to use a lower amount of the ring's power. If that's what 0.5% does, I'll use like 0.2%, he decides. He makes the necessary command, but no ki comes out of the ring. He wonders what's happened and looks down at the still ring before seeing a system message appear in front of him. The lowest amount of power that can be drawn from the ring of Yamoshi is 0.5%. Goku decides to give this test of his ring a rest for now and continues his harsh training to try and progress with it. If 0.5% of the ring's power makes him that strong, he's sure that he can achieve much more with it once he increases his power level. Just as a reminder, here are his stats now. User Kakarot brackets Goku, titles 1-man army. Ki control 7, intelligence 4, reflexes 7, durability 14, adaptability 3, perception 6. During this time, Goku marries Chi-Chi just like he promised in the canon timeline and ends up having his son Gohan at a similar time. With his son, he does take training more lightly but still makes progress. He finds it easier to just abuse his Zenkai boost since he can heal with Zensu beans and then make immediate progress. It's much less time consuming than intensive hand-to-hand combat training and meditation. He still does do those things, but just for less time in a single day. With his power level now at 100,000, he can use 0.5% of the ki stored within the Ring of Yamoshi better but not easily. When he moves up to 1% though, he feels an even more intense feeling of strain. With just 0.5%, Goku's power level reaches even 15 million from just 100,000. The ki is from a powerful god ki using Saiyan, and Goku doesn't really understand how much power is really stored in there. This is because he simply doesn't know what god ki is just yet. Goku and his friends are at the Kame house and he reveals his son Gohan to them. They are very surprised that he has gone and had a kid and are very happy for him. Across the planet though, Raditz has arrived. He mercilessly shoots the human farmer that he finds first, then begins to scan the surroundings for strong individuals. I only see one strong power level in the distance. That must be Kakarot, Raditz realizes. Raditz continues to fly onwards and makes it to Kame house to see his brother Kakarot stood there. Goku senses his ki from afar and is already outside the house awaiting his arrival. Raditz sees Goku's tail and his face then can immediately tell that it's him. He's a spitting image of their father, and he also sees a boy that he assumes is his son from the tail that he possesses too. "Hello there, Kakarot," Raditz says menacingly, smiling at his younger brother. However, Goku doesn't seem fearful or frightened. He remains calm and collected and has a solemn face. With the Ring of Yamoshi and his current strength, he is sure that he can take out the foe that stands before him. With the constant years of training his ki and meditating, he can sense ki much more accurately than he could do in canon by this point. Therefore, he has learned to vaguely gauge someone's strength by the ki signature they exude. Raditz tells him about his mission to exterminate the people of Earth, but Goku states that he remembers no such thing. His friends are also confused as to why this man is calling him Kakarot, but Goku places his hand out and stops Krillin and the others from approaching. "Please stay back. He's referring to me by the name that was given to me at birth. I go by Son Goku, but my father named me Kakarot. I am not a human like you people, but a Saiyan from the world where this man hails from also," Goku reveals. This revelation totally takes the humans present off guard. They can't believe that Goku has been a totally different species this whole time, but it makes sense. He has these weird transformations that the others can't attain and has such strength that it's confusing. It's like he's made to battle. "Well, Kakarot, if you don't complete your mission, I'll have to take your son there," Raditz states. "Don't you dare try and take my son," Goku declares, placing his hand in between Raditz and Gohan. Raditz chuckles upon seeing Goku's mere power level of 600 through his scouter. "Kakarot, I must say, it will be very foolish of you to try and stop me with that measly power level of yours. I recommend you stand down before you get your son killed," Raditz chuckles. However, his chuckle soon fades once he sees the readings on his scouter rise explosively. The air around Goku begins to flow and Goku begins lifting his suppressions. His power level continues to rise and his scouter breaks after its final reading of 300,000. Raditz is now trembling intensely and is struggling to even think of a next step for him. All he can feel is complete fear. Goku zooms right toward him and uses his precise punch skill for the first time in battle. As he does this, he can almost feel time slowing down. You can see Raditz's body with enhanced perception and can better judge where the different parts of his body are. It's still hard for him to do under this armor, and since he is moving so fast, he isn't giving him the best vision possible. However, he aims right for the center of his chest, not to try and permanently damage any vital organs, but to just give a message. He only lands a palm slam, but since this strike makes him 5 times more powerful and he is wearing his special champion's gi, he is 15 times stronger and has a power level of 1.5 million in this strike basically. This strike totally rattles Raditz completely, and the fact that Goku is merely doing this to warn him and not hurt him is the only reason why he remains alive. He is shot into the water and left to slowly sink, and the large waves created from this powerful impact slowly descend and calm also. Wow Goku, you took him out so easily, Krillin says, surprised as he looks out at the sea ahead. Goku stands there at the edge of the ocean and thinks about saving his brother. He doesn't have any real memories of him or his Saiyan family, and he did come here threatening to kill his son. However, he thinks back to the first Saiyan book of legends, detailing Yamoshi's life up until he became the world's first Super Saiyan God. The Saiyans in the book were evil by nature, but they seem to be fated to be that way. You can't punish somebody like this if this was how he was taught when growing up. Saiyans were made stronger by mercilessly slaughtering all life on planets and selling them off to make a living. From a young age, mercilessness seemed to be instilled in them. He just shakes his head before flying right into the water to retrieve his brother. The humans from the island watch on in shock as Goku swims and flies down to get Raditz before he dies of suffocation. He gets him and brings him to shore, where he still seems unresponsive and unconscious. About a minute passes though and he coughs out a bunch of water mixed in with his own blood before struggling to breathe. He sees Goku and backs away in reaction, but he then starts to remember what happened. He saw that Goku's power level was 300,000, being enhanced by the champion's gi, and he knows that there is nothing that he can do to fight him. Raditz cannot act rash here, because if he tries to, Goku could easily just defeat him. "What do you want then, Kakarot? If it's my life you want, then just kill me," Raditz shouts, before coughing out more blood and water. "I don't want to kill you," here Goku says, throwing a spare senzu bean to him that he has from training. The senzu bean lands just ahead of Raditz's face, and he then looks back up to look at Goku. "It'll heal you. Just eat it and you'll be back to normal," he claims. "Why are you helping me? I threatened to kill your son. Why do you still show such unnecessary mercy?" Raditz asks, clenching on the grass on the island. "What, do you wish that you were dead instead?" Goku replies, slightly irritated by his tone. Raditz just remains silent, then eats the senzu bean, feeling totally replenished and healed. He sighs of relief and stands back up to face Goku. With no message sent to Vegeta or Nappa, they don't immediately go to Earth. They don't even want to either, since there's no talk about the Dragon Balls. They just place trust in Raditz and his abilities, and if he fails, well, he fails. They aren't too bothered about him possibly losing his life because they know how weak he is and don't have much sympathy for a low-class Saiyan like him. In their eyes, if he fails and dies, he wasn't of much use to them anyway. After this happens, Raditz just flies off and Goku's left with his friends to just think about what's just happened. Hidden quest complete, family reunion, +1 all stats, +1 item, ancient power seed. User Kakarot brackets Goku, titles 1-man army, key control 8, intelligence 5, reflexes 8, durability 15, adaptability 4, perception 7. The sweet powerful ancient power seed appears out of nowhere and lands right in the palm of his hand. Goku is quick to consume it and receives a 3 times boost to his strength now. His power level is now 300,000 from the 100,000 that it once was. This gives him a current power level that is a whopping 900,000 from his champion gi. New quest, advanced training program. Complete the advanced Saiyan training program by training every day for 9 months. Reward, 1 transformation. Goku smiles upon seeing this quest and its reward and feels great to finally have the system direct this training again. Also, what he is really thinking about is the free food that he is going to get each day after training though. Once Goku returns to his home with Gohan, he sees Yamoshi appear out of nowhere. "Hello once again, Saiyan. I must say that you have progressed much more than I ever would have anticipated for a user of this system. If you have gotten to this advanced program, then you have most definitely worked very hard and I commend you for that," Yamoshi explains. However, this system's program is quite a jump from the intermediate same program. "Since you have the key of my true form in that ring of yours, the system can do this," Yamoshi explains. Goku can feel the ki from the ring flooding out of it and he's quite surprised. The power that he feels flooding out from such ring is very powerful and starts condensing on the projection. A bright light starts to be given off and once it slowly dies down, Goku just sees Yamoshi again. However, he doesn't seem to be covered in any blue light tint. Goku goes up to touch him, then he sees that he really is real. He pulls back awkwardly and Yamoshi just laughs in reaction. I've taken 10% of the ki in that ring and I'm actually now a real physical person. Even though I'm much weaker, I should still be enough to face you, Yamoshi explains. So what's he gonna be saying? Let's begin, Yamoshi says, entering his own Super Saiyan state. Goku responds by doing the same, then calms himself to collapse his aura. With his greater ki control, he can stop ki leaking out his body, but this form isn't in its perfected state just yet. The two fighters then clash. Goku is literally launched backward and immediately starts fighting on the back end. It's very hard for him to keep up with the Saiyan that is almost like a perfect warrior. He can handle and counter almost any single one of his attacks, yet he still fights with fury and exaggeration in his strikes. Goku has already incurred a lot of damage even with his champion ki protecting him, but you can soon feel a warm sensation throughout his body. Sparks of green ki ooze off his body as his champion ki is healing him. The wounds slowly fade, which allows him to last longer in the battle at hand. From his increased stats, he has actually started to see how such perception is aiding him. He can better judge how to react to certain attacks because he can see them much better. It also lets him predict his opponent better just from the slight contractions in their musculature. Sadala slash, Yamoshi shouts, shooting a slice made of pure golden ki. Goku uses the same skill, but his slash is quite clearly much weaker and his slash just gets absorbed into Yamoshi's. Goku is forced to dodge at the last second and he watches the blade of golden ki slice right through a mountain. He is barely even given time to see the resulting explosion as when he turns back he receives a punch right to his stomach. This shoots him downward and the beatdown continues. Yamoshi urges him to keep fighting, but soon Goku has simply taken too much damage. He is covered in streams of his own blood and has only given Yamoshi minor bruises. He falls to his knees and can feel his champion ki is unable to heal himself from the more major injuries in his body. You did well there, but there is a lot more work for you to do. You must continue training and I'll spar you every single day for these next 9 months. Expect to see much growth, Yamoshi states. His training regimen continues and Goku is forced to have a senzu bean to heal himself. When Yamoshi's ki returns to his ring, his body returns to its usual projection and it's like he's forgotten about the entire fight that they had. He just continues with the program as if it's been pre-recorded somehow. The months go by and during this time Goku starts to give his son his first bits of training. He exposes his son to the abilities of the Zenkai, making him grow stronger faster. If Gohan grew from a power level of like 3 to 2,800 in a little under a year with Piccolo's unorthodox training, Goku's focused and efficient training should definitely do the trick. Goku basically tries to teach Gohan what the system has taught him, such as things like meditation and ki control. He sticks to the basics for now and Gohan's power level reaches a whopping 4,000 by the time of the Saiyan's arrival. Goku's base power level has climbed all the way up to 3 million from 300,000. I mean, Goku has been sparring a 10% strength Super Saiyan Yamoshi for pretty much a year and has received some serious beatdowns in the process. With his senzu beans and ability to just heal from the injuries right away using his champion gi and the senzu beans, his progress is most definitely explosive. The only thing stopping his progress from being extremely explosive is the focus on aspects other than battle power. This advanced Saiyan program has taught him to have exceptional ki control and to not expend too much ki when battling so that he can do so for longer. Goku has already then accessed the ascended forms of Super Saiyan as a result. He now utilizes perfected Super Saiyan because he finds it much easier to utilize Yamoshi's ki on top of such forms since there is no stamina drain to begin with. All of the stamina drain that he uses from the combined state is solely from the godly ki from the ring of Yamoshi. He has also been learning to use his Akari form. At first he made sure to do so in secluded areas as to not attack anyone, but his control with the form steadily increased. Now his control is quite okay, but he just doesn't really see a use for the form right now. He just sees it as a nice skill to have and believes that he could achieve more with it in the future. Quest complete, new transformation, Super Saiyan Omega. This form utilizes the true power and brutish nature of the Saiyan race, combines Super Saiyan Grade 3 along with the Akari form and a slither of Yamoshi's God Ki to achieve this unique state. Provides a 3000 times boost to battle power with a 6000 boost specifically to strength. S power 514 out of 500. Okay, I'll try this out to see how strong it is, Goku thinks. Goku in an empty wasteland calms his mind and begins using the power of Super Saiyan Grade 3. He feels his body buff up as he uses such state, then he stacks on Akari to the power 2. His aura becomes a mix of green and golden for a split second before returning to golden, and his eyes also switch to that same hue. His power level from the 9 million base because of his trusty champion gi is around 7.2 billion with grade 3 taken as an 80 times multiplier. He then begins using 0.5% of Yamoshi's ki and his eyes switch to red. His aura switches to that same colour and his muscles enlarge even more than they already have. He roars powerfully, feeling the pure rage and power of the Saiyan race. It's very hard for his body to contain, and his power level is now completely skyrocketed from 9 million up to around 35 billion, with 4,000 taken as the overall multiplier to his power level from this state. He powers out of the state and calms himself, and is surprised with the sheer strength that he now has. It's great, and he can't wait to showcase such power in battle whenever he can. When Goku is simply training here on his own, he feels 2 strong ki signatures in the air. He isn't really scared of what they could do to him, but instead what they could do to his friends and others. Therefore, he follows right after these suspicious individuals and arrives in East City with them. Before Nappa can destroy the city, he looks up to see Goku flying in the sky watching him and Vegeta. Is that Kakarot? Isn't he supposed to have killed these vermin? Nappa asks, looking at the humans that are huddled around them at the crash site. I'd like to give him a punishment for failing to complete his mission. How about it, Vegeta? Nappa asks, cracking his knuckles. Sure, I'm going to find Raditz, Vegeta replies. Nappa laughs before shouting and flying right up to attack Goku. He throws a full power punch and attempts to nearly kill him with his strike. However, Goku doesn't move an inch as it lands on his body. Nappa follows up with a kick, but Goku dips right under it and remains unharmed. You think you're strong? Alright then, let me show you my full strength, Nappa shouts, blasting off his armor in a power-up. He continues to shout and makes the surrounding area rumble from the power that he outputs. His anger is grown upon seeing a low-class warrior dodge his attacks so well, but he wasn't at full strength. Well, that's what he tells himself. He tries to attack Goku again, but the Saiyan seems to appear by his side from how fast he moves. As Nappa turns to look at the Saiyan, he begins lifting his suppressions. His power continuously climbs and climbs, making Nappa freeze in place. His power level reaches as high as 1 million before Nappa's scouter breaks. Goku doesn't want to kill a fellow Saiyan as he has grown quite the connection to his people. Upon reading the Saiyan Book of Legends, he saw Yamoshi only force his hand when the situation against the evil Saiyans was dire. If these 2 Saiyans aren't of much harm to his family and everyone, he won't just viciously kill them. All he wants to do is teach them a lesson like he did to Raditz to make sure that they don't harm any of his loved ones. He punches Nappa lightly, but this punch almost shuts down his entire body. He starts coughing blood and wheezes from the pain that he feels. His guts feel like they're literally about to explode on him, and he struggles to calm his mind as he feels this pain. I don't want to have to kill you. Please get Vegeta and leave to wherever you came from, Goku states. He doesn't see much good in these Saiyans and felt like he calmed Raditz much more easily because he's his brother. As for these more elite Saiyans seemingly unrelated to him, it doesn't seem like they'll be swayed by him much. Nappa flies in Vegeta's general direction from what his scouter told him before it broke, and Goku slowly follows after him to see where he's headed. Raditz, who is simply training in a wasteland on Earth, sees Vegeta arrive by his side. He looks very scared but stands up straight and politely bows to the prince. Prince Vegeta, he says, while looking down at the ground. You had a mission, exterminate every living being on this planet and acquire Goku. Why did you fail to do that? Vegeta asks, clearly angry. You had us travel all the way here to try and retrieve you, but it turns out you haven't even done your job, Vegeta adds. I apologize, Vegeta. My brother is stronger than I had anticipated. He was too much for me to overcome, Raditz comments. As Raditz looks down, he looks up slightly to see Nappa coming, but also Goku following after him. And he'll be too strong for you too, Raditz roars, launching his double Sunday right at Vegeta. This bright explosion only serves to blind Vegeta for a time, and Nappa accelerates his flight upon seeing this happen. He tries to attack Raditz, but Goku whizzes right in front of him and grabs Raditz before he can hit him. He punches hard rock on the floor, creating a large crater, but Goku lands and makes sure that Raditz is okay. Kakarot, you, Vegeta says, looking quite irritated. Nappa, just upon throwing this attack, coughs blood and falls down onto one knee once he realises that he has been hurt quite badly from the punch that Goku landed on him before. Nappa, what is the issue? Were you hurt by that weak low-class Saiyan? Vegeta asks. He was too strong for me. You definitely have the power to defeat him though, sir. I know you can easily demolish him, Nappa claims, practically begging for his life by sucking up to the prince. I know. However, if you cannot defeat him, you are of no use to me, Vegeta says, before blasting Nappa to smithereens. He is killed just like that, and Goku is horrified. What did you do that for? He was your comrade, Goku shouts, shocked by his egregious action. So what? You annoy me, Saiyan. Raditz should have killed you for failing your mission, Vegeta claims, shooting a ki blast at the 2 Saiyans. They both dodge, and it hits a gizzard rock behind them that shoots forward Raditz from the created explosions. He loses his footing and falls to the ground, but Goku remains totally firm in place. I'll take him down, Raditz. Just wait here, Goku states, before lifting his suppressions once again. Vegeta looks ready to attack them again, but he then sees the reading of Goku's power continuously rise. The numbers that he sees on his scouter freeze him completely. He literally can't believe the values that he reads and just doesn't believe it to be true. Goku then shouts, and even with a sliver of his strength, he takes Vegeta off guard and attacks him before he can have the chance to react. He lands a punch right to his Saiyan armor and shatters it on impact. Vegeta is sent flying away and hits into several gizzard rocks, being launched right through them. He eventually comes to a stop a few hundred meters away from the initial impact and coughs out blood while being trapped within a gizzard rock. Goku then flies forward and arrives in front of him in just a split second. Vegeta, I don't want to kill you, and I'm sure that you do not want to die. You have no use here anymore, and I want you to leave this planet at once, Goku commands. Vegeta coughs out even more blood and just shouts in rage at his defeat. He hasn't been humiliated so badly like this in battle before, and has only felt such humiliation following Frieza's every command helplessly. He hates feeling this way and flies right past Goku in a fit of rage. He knows he can't even attack Raditz because Goku might then do something, and the fact that he has to act so passively annoys him even more. Vegeta is now off planet and has been defeated at the hands of Goku with ease. Hidden quest complete, Royal's Bane. Defeat a Saiyan of the Royal Saiyan line in battle. +1 item, Ancient Amplifying Seed. A superior form of the Ancient Power Seed, this seed not only reveals one's latent potential but provides an extra boost to such power simultaneously. New title, New Royal, +1 item, Royal Saiyan Relic. A bracelet made from the armor and blood of a fallen ancient Saiyan king. This item amplifies the user's connection to the souls of the ancient Royal Saiyans. There is a black seed that appears in the palm of his hand as well as a black bracelet. He hides these two items that seem to have materialized out of nowhere since he doesn't want to just reveal his system out of nowhere. He has no clue who made it and doesn't even know if he will be safe to just reveal this system of his to anyone. I just want to thank you for what you've done here today. You finally got those two off my back, Raditz says, but Goku doesn't look as happy as him. But the other Saiyan, Nappa, why did he have to just kill Nappa like that, Goku asks. Why do you care? That's just how Vegeta is. He has no remorse for those weaker than him and hates when people are stronger than him. I don't even know what makes the guy happy other than wiping planets clear of their inhabitants, Raditz comments jokingly. Goku basically gets ready to leave, but Raditz stops him before he can go. Wait, Goku, Raditz calls out, stopping his brother from just going. There is a few seconds of silence between the two and Raditz seems to look quite embarrassed from what he is about to say. Could you train me? Following this event, Goku agrees and gets ready to train his brother, but he receives yet another system notification. New quest, Frieza's Empire. Locate the Emperor Frieza and kill him, destroying his entire army. Free the Saiyans that remain under his merciless tyranny. Rewards, ? Frieza, Goku wonders upon seeing this message. Raditz is just practicing a few techniques that Goku starts him off with and can actually see the hint of saying fighting in it. It's aggressive but simultaneously it's calmed and controlled. The dichotomy of this style makes it seem quite impressive and useful. Who is Frieza, Goku asks, making Raditz totally stop. He read of King Cold's conquest of the Saiyan Empire and his empire, but that was a very long time ago. The book never got onto saying anything about his children or what happened to his empire after first invading the Saiyans. He reigns over this part of our galaxy. He invaded us Saiyans a long time ago and we've been forced to follow his every command ever since he took over from his father King Cold, Raditz explains. Our planet was destroyed by an asteroid, so we're basically the only Saiyans that remain. Everyone else was killed in the event, Raditz explains. Goku is shocked to hear this information. First, it isn't nice to hear that King Cold's family continued to have control over the Saiyans for several decades. On top of that, he didn't actually think that all the Saiyans were gone. With this system and after reading those numerous books, he was hoping to meet his people once again. Now hearing this, he's quite bummed out that he won't actually be able to do this fully. How did you find out about him, Raditz asks, quite confused. In the ship that took me here there was some weird audio message and I overheard his name being said, Goku fibs. How strong is he, Goku then asks. Well, he forces even the strongest fighters in the universe to fall under his command, so for somebody even like Vegeta, he is unbeatable. However, I think you might just be our hope of getting rid of him, Raditz realizes, getting happier once he realizes that he can actually certify his freedom. Do you know where he is, Goku asks. I knew you'd be up for taking him down. Anyway, I don't know where he is right now, and I'm quite happy about him most likely not knowing where I am either, Raditz explains. Well, what would happen if you were to act out of line, Goku then inquires. What? Well, he would most likely call me back so that I see him. He will then try and probably put me back in line somehow. Why? Raditz asks, a little confused. Goku then clicks his fingers once he thinks he has hit the nail right on its head with figuring out a strategy. If he calls you back, he has to tell you where he is. Just aggravate him and I'll try and follow him to his spaceship, Goku explains. Raditz likes his idea a lot and tells Goku that he can use Nappa's ship to follow after him so that he can head there too. Raditz then sends a message to Frieza to get him riled up while also detailing that he failed his mission. Just like he expected, Frieza gives him a falsely polite message for him to return to his ship for a meeting. With that, his location is sent to his ship and both Raditz and Goku head on their merry way there to see what is happening. Goku, wearing his special black bracelet, then eats the black seed that possesses amplifying powers and receives a boost to his strength. He can feel it and only manages to stop his aura from leaking out and destroying the ship because of his ki control. His power level rises from 3 million to 10 million, giving him a power level of 30 million when his champion gi is worn. They arrive at his ship in a few days' time and arrive on the ship through one of the back openings in his ship that allows other smaller spaceships inside. They then reach his very own throne room and Raditz immediately drops into a bow, then Goku just follows suit when he sees this. They then see Vegeta in the corner of the room, already kneeled and facing the Emperor. By his side are his two right-hand men, Zarbon and Dodoria. So, I see that you have brought your brother here too. Even if you failed your mission of clearing the planet for selling, one more man for your squadron to replace Nappa isn't something that I'll complain about. However, Raditz, I am not happy with the tone of your message. That is why I decided to call you all here so promptly. Your punishment will be issued once we land on my nearest planet, Frieza adds. Of course, Lord Frieza, I apologize for my conduct and will take my punishment, Raditz replies. Good, you were all dismissed. Return to your ships and meet me on such planet, Frieza says, before turning his pod to view the beautiful view of dazzling stars and planets behind him. Goku and Raditz head back to their ships, but Vegeta approaches them before they can leave. Where are you going? Why did you bring him along here? Vegeta asks, making Raditz lightly laugh. He gets closer to Vegeta before whispering. Just wait, you'll see in due time, Raditz says. They head to their ships and arrive at Frieza Planet 79, the same planet that Vegeta arrived on to heal after Goku defeated him in the canon timeline. They all arrive there and meet Frieza in a special palace made on such planet. Goku and Raditz are sent into this hall alone and Frieza doesn't look as pleased as he once was. Raditz, I am here to issue your punishment for your recent improper conduct. I would like to say that the punishment that I think you deserve is death. He's way too slow to react, but Goku swats the beam away, now no longer suppressed. Just his revealed aura blasts away Raditz and the surrounding Frieza soldiers that stand at the sides of the red carpet leading to his throne. Frieza then aims and tries to shoot Goku, but he takes the beam head on and only gets a minor bruise on his forearm. Their scouters then break upon watching his power level rise seemingly indefinitely. Goku still looks just as he did before and the soldiers look at each other in surprise. No, it must be a malfunction. Kill him, a soldier shouts, shooting a ki blast at him. Goku knocks it away, then with the wave of his palm shoots the soldiers away with a mix of ki and air. Many are knocked out from this extremely weak attack for him and the two fighters by Frieza's side arrive in front of Goku to try and take him down. You've done far too much now, Saiyan. This disrespect will cost you your life, Dodoria shouts. He roars and tries to knock Goku down with a punch, but he catches the fighter's large fist before twisting it and breaking it. He then taps him on his neck to knock him out completely and that just leaves Zarbon to deal with. The stronger fighter tries to attack him in the same way, but Goku slips past him and evades his first strike. He then taps his neck to defeat him too by knocking him out. Goku then turns back to look at Frieza, who is stunned by the Saiyan's power and confidence. However, he just laughs and claps while lifting from his throne. I must say, Saiyan, you are much stronger than I expected. However, there is a reason that I am Emperor, Frieza says, erupting in an aura of purple ki. He smiles and makes a regal pose before charging right toward Goku to try and dismantle him. He throws a sequence of punches while shouting, but he can't seem to land any of them. Goku can either tap them away or totally block them. Goku lands a single kick to his stomach, making Frieza fall back from the pain and fall to his knees. He coughs blood and just upon looking at his blood, he almost becomes unstable. He looks back up with bloodshot eyes and begins powering up to the very maximum. You are nothing to me, Saiyan. I will pulverize you, he shouts before he begins transforming. He enters his gargantuan second form and Raditz is just as shocked as Goku is when seeing him transform. He believed that his smallish first state was all there was to him, but after seeing this, that might actually not be the case. He shouts again and throws down his mammoth arms to try and hit Goku, but he catches them before they can reach him. Without even giving Frieza the chance to transform again, Goku pushes his arms away, then pushes his fist right through his entire body with the use of his precise strike skill. Frieza coughs blood upon taking this attack that perfectly goes through his liver, and blood starts dripping profusely from the created wound. Pulling out his hand, Goku then uses the Sadala Slash to cut the man right in half, from the bottom of his body to the top. Blood spurts out across the hall from this attack and the two parts of his body flop to the ground. The mighty Emperor Frieza has been killed just like that. The Frieza Empire is no more. With Frieza dead and gone, Goku and Raditz see no need to meddle on planet Frieza 79 any longer. It's only a matter of time before the death of Frieza spreads and the Empire crumbles. As for now, Raditz knows that under Goku's protection he has literally nothing to worry about. They head back to their pods and just head back to Earth, while Vegeta is left rather directionless. Raditz has left him and he killed his most loyal comrade. He is on planet Frieza 79 just to see what happens, and he sees half of Frieza's palace crumble from Goku's exceptionally sharp Sadala slash. What did that saying just do, Vegeta wonders, upon watching the ensuing chaos in the surrounding streets. Quest complete, technique acquired, technique death beam. A thin, extremely fast beam of ki that can be used to pierce through almost any object explodes upon after piercing through the maximum amount of material. Item upgrade, item level 4 champion gi. A special golden gi that can be worn by the user. It's a one-size-fits-all gi that is lightweight and provides the user with a 3x power boost. It also triples the user's durability stat. While the user wears the gi, it provides a healing factor to slowly heal them from injuries and does so by feeding on the life force of the opponent. With Frieza gone, Goku's life pretty much returns to normal. He spends a lot of time fighting his brother Raditz and sees him making astounding progress. Raditz is still extremely far off his level and Goku can keep him down in his sleep. It would literally be impossible for his brother to hit him. With his champion gi, it basically makes every punch not hurt at all. With his significantly enhanced durability, he doesn't even need to evade the attacks that come his way. Gohan also trains with these group of fighters, and since he is much weaker than the other two, he can also make a lot of progress. Goku can see that his son has a lot of potential, but it won't be likely that he will ever exceed his strength if he has this system as an asset. It just wouldn't make sense where he has access to things like special potential amplifying seeds and trainers like the Saiyan God Yamoshi himself. During these 3 years, Vegeta is off planet and is training as hard as he can. He trains in a similar way to how we did in canon, breaking his limits and just trying his hardest to surpass Goku. His power grows significantly, and in a fit of rage the Saiyan Prince manages to acquire the power of Super Saiyan. Years and years pass, approximately 3 years, and Goku has managed to access the powers of Super Saiyan 2 and 3. However, he doesn't like the forms at all. They seem too lackluster for his liking, and Super Saiyan Omega is a much safer option for him. Also, when he meditates, he has started to hear quiet whispering like people are talking to him. It's quite odd and he can almost make out what some of the people are saying. The most common word he can definitely hear is Saiyan, but it's always mixed in with unintelligible sounds that he can't discern. Goku, while meditating, starts feeling the key signatures of several humans falling. He can tell the exact area where it's happening with his superior key control, but he can't seem to find the culprit of the loss of human life. It's like it's being done by an invisible force. He decides to fly right over there to see what the issue is, and he soon finds the two androids, Android 19 and 20. "Who are you two?" he asks cautiously. The fact that they seem so strong but he can't sense any ki from them is alarming to him. Even when people try to suppress their ki, he can still sense something. These two people feel like hollow beings, almost like reanimated corpses. Upon closer inspection, he sees the logo of the Red Ribbon Army on their bodies and is very shocked upon seeing this. He thought that he had destroyed that evil organization a long time ago, but it still seems like they have managed to live on in some form. Android 19 speeds toward him, but Goku doesn't get hit at all. He evades the incoming punch by stepping back before landing a kick to the side of his body. Goku's power level is 30 million, so his power simply doesn't do much. A punch then lands on his forearms, launching him across the street that they're in. The Saiyan then enters his basic Super Saiyan form, then charges forward with his newfound speed. He speed blitzes the android after this large 50 times multiplier of his and slashes at the body of the android using his Sadala slash. His wave of golden ki slices the being right in half, and he turns to Dr. Gero after dismantling this being so easily. "I never would have thought you could defeat that android so quickly. Oh well," Dr. Gero then says, before flying off surprisingly calmly. Goku charges right after him, but Gero then shoots back literally hundreds of ki blasts in flight to try and annoy Goku. They surround him and he is forced to destroy a large number of them before he is free to follow the man once again. With his greater perception, he can hear where Dr. Gero is headed and arrives right at the scientist's lab. Landing there, he tries to inspect the surroundings and can hear the conversation going on inside the lab from the outside. He places his ear on the exterior of the lab to try and figure out what's going on. He can hear two androids that have appeared out of nowhere, and he decides that it's time to try and finish them off before these two can cause any harm. Before he can even transform into a Super Saiyan though, the door gets blasted right off. There stands Android 17 and 18, and these two androids are much more powerful than their canon counterparts. Goku gets attacked by these two, but he catches both of their punches before they can do much. Android 17 takes another swing at his body, but Goku slips past his punch to then kick in one of his knees. Dr. Gero knows that Goku is insanely strong, but it's very hard to gauge just how strong the guy is. He barely ever reveals his full strength and only does so in physical solitary training. He evades the numerous attacks that are shot to him from the androids, and he then lifts into the sky. The two androids follow right after him, but he shoots a Sadala slash at the two incoming androids. The slash is so fast that he nearly takes the androids out right away. 17 is caught by the incredibly sharp slash of Ki and ends up having his right arm cleaved right off. This slash of his doesn't even deform and then slices off a large amount of matter on the ground once it hits it. 17 is in utter agony after receiving such an attack. He is a cyborg and so has some human parts to his body. This makes the attack hurt really badly, but he remains resilient as these two warriors have been hardwired to try and take down the man in front of them. Stay back, I don't want to have to kill you both, Goku pleads, as he can see there is human in them. 17 bleeds from what he can see and they fight in much more human ways than the other fighter that he had dismantled minutes before. There is no use in trying to sway us, we have been programmed to try and kill you, Goku, it's the only thing that drives me now, 17 declares, shooting toward him with a roar using his only free arm. As he approaches, Goku uses his precise strike skill. Time almost dilates and he aims straight for his skull. The punch launches the android down to the ground and from his lack of movement he seems dead. 18 rushes in to try and attack Goku, but she meets a similar fate, falling from the sky after receiving a punch straight to her face. Goku feels bad that he has been forced to do this, looking down at their lifeless bodies. However, he knows it's for the best. The first android that he defeated had massacred tens of thousands of people. These two androids were much stronger than that other one, and so anything could have happened if they were released. Goku returns to his base form and prepares to leave, but then notices another fighter standing before him. Yamoshi, he wonders, looking at them. No, not Yamoshi. I am a super-powered warrior, born from your DNA and his godly essence, this being explains. He looks like Yamoshi facially, but he is a much bigger version of him. He also seems to have some form of mechanical mask over his face. He resembles Kumba from the Dragon Ball Hero series as reference. We haven't met before, so allow me to introduce myself. I do not go by Yamoshi, but instead by the title Android X, the title given to me by Dr. Gero himself. Dr. Gero, upon seeing Yamoshi's godly Saiyan Ki from the ring of Yamoshi and his physical body, felt inclined to utilize that DNA and power of his. He saw how strong he was and simply didn't want to miss upon the opportunity to improve the abilities of his androids. How do you exist? Did Dr. Gero create you from scratch? Goku asks. Goku is smart enough to quickly realize that Dr. Gero is the man that he had seen previously. He assumed that he was an android, which he was, but he acted differently to the other androids that he had met. He also heard his voice within the lab when he activated 17 and 18. Yes, the special key from that ring had healing properties, and so Dr. Gero was able to use that to accelerate my growth from a single-celled organism into the super being that I am now in just a few years, he exclaims. His most prized, most powerful creation, made solely to wipe you from the face of the earth, he shouts, before charging right at Goku. The Sadala slash is launched in his direction, but he flies right over it and punches Goku. The Saiyan is taken aback by the force of his strike, but doesn't feel pain at all due to his champion Gi. He then evades a few more of the attacks that come his way before being caught by one and launched right into the ground. He lets his body descend and in doing so gracefully lands on the ground. Android X lands ahead of him and looks more than ready to continue their battle. Goku can feel a sense of hate and fury coming from his ki. His ki resembles the ki of Frieza that just seemed like pure evil. As he is standing there, his vision seems a little hazy and he almost falls right over. He keeps himself standing up and to an observer it doesn't look like much has happened. However, his heart starts to feel achy and this is due to the heart virus that he has contracted. The pain is dull at first, but he can manage it quite easily. He then decides to take this up a notch and enters his Super Saiyan Grade 3 state. Combining his Ikari form with his Yamoshi Ki, he achieves the power of Super Saiyan Omega. His power level reaches much higher levels and something special starts happening. His God Ki is amplifying the healing capabilities of his mystical champion Gi, and this starts directly combating the heart virus inside him. Goku speed blitzes him and swivel kicks the burly warrior right in his jaw. Goku then blocks the next attacks that come his way before landing a kick to the large warrior's stomach that forces him back. From training and sparring, he has found that with his champion Gi, he finds it easier to just block attacks than evade them. His durability is augmented substantially, and so he can take the attacks from those that are of even equal strength to himself. After taking these attacks, his enemy looks furious. He can see that his eyes are bloodshot and he can hear a vehement roar even under his metallic mask. He charges at Goku and throws down both of his arms like a savage ape, but he can take the attack again. Goku is in a powerful muscular state and so he easily overpowers his enemy. He pulls his large arms downward before headbutting the man and punching him straight in his jaw to launch him back tens and tens of meters. He is sent rolling and crashing through the rocky ground and Goku stands against him ready for him to attack again. Goku feels confident, but he then remembers that the Saiyan standing before him is still in his base form. This surprises him quite a lot and he starts walking toward him. He begins shouting and his long hair lifts and flows in his aura, his eye colour switches to blue and his hair then becomes blonde. He enters his very own Super Saiyan state and smiles upon feeling the power coursing through his veins. "Here we are, prepare for death, Saiyan," Android X shouts, shooting a large gold key blast at Goku. He smartly uses his Hadala slash and launches it right at the blast. This slash bisects the ball of energy, causing the two fragments to soar past his arms. They explode behind him and Android X then charges at him. He closes the distance between him and his opponent in nearly an instant and the two enter intense hand-to-hand combat. Goku spends his time blocking most of the attacks, protecting his person, but his punches and strikes deal very minimal, unnoteworthy damage. He tries to punch the tall Saiyan in his chest, but his fist is then grabbed. The android pulls him forward before landing a vicious kick to his gut. Goku feels totally winded and is then lifted off his feet to be slammed right back into the ground. The ground quakes from the heavy impacts and Goku coughs blood as he hits the ground. He must use all of his strength and effort to then dodge the attack that is hurtling toward his head. He pushes himself out of the danger zone, returning to his feet with blood dripping out his mouth. Android X speed blitzes Goku while laughing. He feels like he can finally complete his goal upon seeing Goku so injured by his attacks. He throws haymaker after haymaker that Goku ends up being forced to tank. His durability is enhanced, but it simply isn't enough. In such a bulky form like this one, he has decided to try and fight the same battle as his adversary. However, without power comparable to his, he is now fighting a losing battle. His vision looks hazy and doesn't move along with his own movements. He stumbles to the ground, pushing himself up with one hand, then Android X cloaks his left hand in his own ki. Dashing forward, he stabs Goku just under his ribcage, aimed upward. Goku coughs out an alarming amount of blood as this stab pierces right through his lung. He trembles and hyperventilates upon feeling the massive keyblade in his chest. Goku can barely move and can't even begin to try and remove the energy blade from his torso. "I told you that my mission is to kill you, Goku. Why do you look so surprised? I was not built to fail," he shouts, pushing the blade further into his body. Goku screams in pain upon feeling this and his key signature starts dwindling rapidly. Training with his nephew Gohan, they both come to a stop upon feeling Goku's key signature declining. "What's happening?" Gohan asks, while Raditz looks out in the distance. "I'm not sure, but I don't like this feeling. I'm going to check it out," Raditz says. "Wait, I'm coming with you," Gohan says. "No kid, just stay back here. There's no need for you to put yourself in danger like that," his uncle insists. Gohan then shakes his head before stubbornly following after Raditz, who looks like he is about to leave. "No, I'm coming with you. He's my father. I want to help however I can," Gohan declares. Raditz just stays flying there and looks at his nephew. He can see the strong will from his unwavering gaze and knows that there won't be a thing he can do to convince him to stay away. Fine, come on. Android X rips the blade from Goku's body and he flops to the ground powerlessly. His eyes motionlessly look out into the distance and the Saiyan is covered in a pool of his very own blood. As he destroys the energy blade, he can feel a slight weakness in his breath. The android is confused because he believes that he is a perfect creation. His breathing rate shouldn't be this high even after he had been standing relatively still for so long. His energy blade fades and Goku then places his hands on the ground. A volume of Yamoshi's ki floods out of his ring and starts to cloak his body. He reverts to perfected Super Saiyan and his red aura looks a lot denser and stronger than usual. 30%, he screams internally, making his body buff up significantly. He roars from the power coursing through his veins and charges right at the android. He ends up coughing more blood from the intense strain he is placing on his body, but he needs to defeat this warrior. If he does not do that, how can he ensure the safety of the people of Earth? He zooms toward Android X and clashes with him directly. Goku's hair has now turned to an orange colour, being mixed with the redness from his God Ki and the yellowness from his Super Saiyan form. Pushing vehemently, he tries to get this warrior to at least budge, but it's to no avail. He receives yet another punch to his stomach, then a strike straight to his face. Goku lands a punch of his own, but in the end it still just isn't enough. He can't actually manage to overpower his foe that seems to just be growing stronger as he fights. He lands some good punches and kicks, but it isn't enough. Goku's body is weakening from the massive wound in his lower chest, and it's having a long-lasting effect on his ability to battle. His champion ki and God Ki are doing its best to heal his wound, but it won't be quick. It also isn't easy when Android X repeatedly irritates the wound by punching it and using it to cripple his opponent. "Hey, what are you doing?" Raditz shouts, flying down to land beside Goku. "No, Raditz, go," Goku insists, before coughing blood and stumbling to the ground. Android X is flabbergasted by Raditz's appearance and quite humoured by it too. He smirks upon seeing this happen and Gohan lands beside him too. He looks enraged to see his father in such a condition and looks frightened by the whole situation. His emotions guide him completely and he charges right toward the large warrior with a shout. His power has been elevated quite greatly by his anger, and in his flight something amazing occurs. His hair switches to gold and he enters his Super Saiyan form for the first time ever. Striking the burly warrior, he creates a large shockwave and moves so fast that Raditz can't even track him, but the warrior takes on his attack with utmost ease. Gohan then continues trying to attack him, but the android smiles as he blocks or dodges each one of his attacks. No, Gohan. Raditz, get Gohan and run, please, Goku insists. Raditz can see that there is no use in them fighting and actually feels scared upon seeing this strong foe. He feels the same feeling that he did upon watching Frieza get angry at him. This sense of powerlessness makes him feel great fear, but there is no time for him to mull over such matters. Now he has to try and save himself and his nephew. Raditz summons all the strength that he can and zooms right for the young boy, snatching him. Gohan, please calm down and listen to me. We have to go now if you want to live, he shouts. Gohan is too blinded by his rage and hits Raditz in his chest, cracking one of his ribs. He then flies right back toward Android X, who just backhands him straight across his face. The kid is knocked out with just that simple swipe of the arm and slides right beside Raditz with a massive bruise on his face. Android X turns back to Goku, lifting his hand to face them. I'll slaughter those weaklings that you call your family, the android taunts as an energy blast grows in his palm. I tried to beat you and I couldn't. How does killing them help you achieve your goal? Goku asks, before coughing even more blood. Android X smiles upon seeing Goku so desperate to save his friend. He drops his palm before charging right at Goku and sucker punching him before he has the chance to properly react. He then creates the same dagger of ki that he had done previously and stabs it right into Goku's chest, dropping him to the floor once again. Raditz just watches this happen with his eyes wide open from shock. He feels frozen as he knows that if he goes forward he would just be slaughtered. However, if he doesn't find a way to help his brother, he's going to die. Curse this weakness, he says in his mind, looking down at his own frail body. Finally, the job is done, Android X claims. He dusts off his hands and can see that Goku's heartbeat is steadily dropping. It won't be long before the man is dead. Android X just stands over him, smiling with arrogance as he has completed his mission. Goku is no more and his attempt at resisting him was futile in the end. In Goku's mind, all he can see is black, his eyes have faded out and there isn't much more time before it's over for him. What is this? Am I dead or dying? Well, I'm definitely dying, Goku comments, looking at this infinite void. Kakarot, Goku then hears. Goku then looks around, trying to find the source of this voice. Kakarot, you have the power to fight, so fight. Ascend to the next level, break your limits, he hears from Yamoji, who is now stood before him. Behind him he can see several glowing eyes and outlines of silhouettes of varying heights, but all with the same hairstyle that resembles Vegeta's. But I lost, I'm literally dying now, I don't have much in me, Goku comments, defeated. He fought valiantly and with everything that he had, but was still defeated. What could he now do differently to change things? Use the ring. The ring has all the power that you need. Save your brother, your son, and most importantly, save yourself. On the outside, Raditz is still stood there, watching the android backing away from Goku with a smile. However, his smile suddenly fades. How? He blurts out upon watching him. His temperature is now rising steadily, plateauing at the regular body temperature for a Saiyan. 100%. His body is engulfed by the god ki of Yamoji and he rushes right back up to his face before lifelessly looking ahead. His eyes look dead but his wound starts healing swiftly. Goku roars at the top of his lungs and his hair then becomes red. It falls in the process as he starts using his first truly godly form. What is this power? Even after all that training I feel nothing, Raditz thinks upon seeing his gleaming brother. His eyes become the same colour and he charges at the android with his newfound strength. He utilises the Sadala Slash and it now looks stronger than before. It looks redder and swifter and Android X is forced to enter his Super Saiyan form to use all of his strength to try and evade. His arm is caught though and his right arm is severed right off. He screams in agony, holding the wound on his shoulder, but he then uses the other arm to launch an energy wave right at the lean Saiyan. However, he flies right over it and knees the burly Saiyan right in his mouth, destroying the mask covering his face. Goku then rains down a barrage of punches and strikes on him that simply break him apart. He continues to attack him and even when he powers back up into his Super Saiyan form he can't do much. As Android X charges right at him once again, Goku takes this chance to use his precise strike skill. This 5 times amplification to his power allows his fist to go right through the man's body. His arm totally impales his opponent and covers his arm in his own blood. Once he removes it, he can feel his body is almost totally healed, but Android X on the other hand is faring much worse. He just looks up at the glowing Goku while coughing blood and cowering away. No, how, he states before finally kicking the bucket. He takes a final gasp and falls, laying in a pool of his own blood. You did it, you really did it, Raditz says, surprised with his brother's victory. Upon approaching him, Goku's body just starts to twitch and he coughs out blood before dropping to the ground. Raditz looks a little taken off guard by his brother's suffering and rushes right to his side. What's wrong, Kakarot? He asks with concern. Goku's body reverts to his base form and he feels great pain throughout his entire body. His muscles involuntarily contract, causing him to just end up flopping to the ground. What just happened to me? Goku asks his system. There was too much body flowing within the user's body and the user was saved by their own activation of God Ki. It seems that he'd used way too much power initially, but using all of Yamoshi's ki allowed him to gain his very own godly ki. Once this happens, he sees the golden ring on his finger turn into particles of energy and just vanish. Raditz isn't really paying attention to that and luckily doesn't see it happen. Where did the ring go? The user has absorbed the God Ki from the spirit of Yamoshi. This has provided a significant boost to the user's base strength and potential. Hidden quest complete, Saiyan God, item upgrade, item, siphoning Royal Saiyan relic. With the title of Saiyan God, the Royal Saiyan relic item can now be used as an opportunity for the user to command the power of the Royal Saiyan. Summoning too much strength can cause grave effects on the body, including death. How could I actually use this? Surely the Royal Saiyans will be too weak to add to my power. The addition of power from this item is not a mere addition but amplifies and multiplies the user's own strength. After hearing this, Goku looks up cautiously. He can sense the key signature of Prince Vegeta heading toward them. Over there, it's Vegeta, he says, pointing ahead. Wow, how did you tell that was Vegeta from just sensing him? Raditz asks, stunned. It's just training, Raditz, Goku replies. Raditz, Goku and Gohan then fly over to the scene upon seeing him arrive. He smiles upon seeing Goku and doesn't even pay attention to the other two warriors that stand beside him. It's about time I get my revenge, Kakarot. Prepare to perish, he shouts before powering up. You humiliated me once and I won't let you live to even try and do so again. He then roars more vehemently and enters his Super Saiyan form. Now I am the ultimate warrior, the Super Saiyan of legend, he exclaims. If it's a fight you want with me, Vegeta, then fine. Vegeta smiles, then flies right at Goku, landing his most powerful kick. His attack does nothing and he intended to try and kill the Saiyan there. He falls back in slight shock before rushing right back to throw even more attacks. They are quite simply relentless and he just continues throwing to try and take down this fighter. However, with his champion gi, even though it is slightly ripped, there is nothing that he can do. His attacks don't even move the insanely durable fighter and he only causes further damage to his knuckles. The Saiyan Prince can't even stand to stop though, he just continues rattling off punch after punch, unable to accept defeat. Goku soon taps him on the neck and knocks him out right there and then. The Saiyan Prince has been defeated with just the wave of his palm and the Saiyans don't really know what to do with him. Raditz just says for them to leave him there and this is what they do. Vegeta does wake up and flies away from the scene upon doing so. As Goku is flying away, he receives another notification from his system. +1 item, Saiyan Book of Legends number 3, the power of the Saiyan God. A large tome appears in his hands and Goku is quick to hide the item from Raditz's view so that he doesn't alarm him. As they arrive back at his home, Goku starts to read the book and sees that it details several ancient fighting techniques and skills made by Yamoshi. They are mainly intelligent uses of God Ki to make one an even more adept fighter and Goku can't wait to test these skills out and train himself with them. Now what comes are 7 full years of peace. Vegeta ends up settling in secret on Earth, meeting Bulma and gaining a relationship with her. They end up having Trunks currently instead and Goku still has Goten at the same time as usual. This means that Goten is going to be significantly older than Trunks. Vegeta is still too hot-headed to train with the others and focuses on solitary training, gaining access to Super Saiyan 2. Goku ends up gaining access to Super Saiyan Blue and even Super Saiyan Blue Evolution on top of that. His Saiyan powers have grown tremendously and with the power of the Zenkai, anything is possible for the Saiyans really. Here, what is different is that Gohan can barely go Super Saiyan here against Kibito in the World Tournament. He feels immense strain from using the form, then Goku looks into the sky to see Yamu and Spopovich charging for Gohan. His incredible ki control means that he can sense the two warriors from a great distance away. Goku flies right at the two warriors and stops them from advancing. What do you want here? Goku asks boldly. They feel surprised that they were stopped so easily and they just go to try and attack Goku. The Saiyan evades their first attack before dodging a ki blast that soars down toward the tournament. It destroys the arena and makes the people at the tournament distressed. Yamu and Spopovich fly right away but Goku flies right after them. As they return, Dabura appears to try and send Goku away. He shoots his special spit at him but Goku steps away and evades. It then heads toward Raditz and Vegeta who are behind him but they both then dodge the attack too and land beside him. What was that? Raditz wonders, landing behind Goku. Vegeta lands crouched down with his forearms resting on his legs and his hands hanging down over his knees. What a weird looking demon, Vegeta states. Goku then shoots himself forward toward Dabura and lands a light neck tap. The sheer power behind his tap, even though he went incredibly light, nearly kills the fighter. Following this, the remaining fighters enter the spaceship and start facing the foes that Babidi pits against them. Vegeta ends up taking Pui Pui just like he had done before. He thinks that the 10 times gravity could give him the advantage, but at the Saiyan Prince comes from a world where that is the norm. The Majin Warrior stands absolutely no chance against him. Goku ends up facing Yakon and like usual takes him out. However, he only needs to use basic Super Saiyan to give the fighter way too much light energy to try and absorb. He ends up killing the fighter and the final warrior is not Dabura. As they arrive at the bottom layer of the spaceship, Vegeta's mind starts getting attacked. Unlike before, Vegeta is still closer to his evil Saiyan self. He screams, holding his head, and everyone watches on in horror as Babidi starts taking control of his mind. Eventually, in Super Saiyan, he stands and faces the warriors. Majin Vegeta is born. These fighters are transported out the ship and Vegeta's eyes are glued on Goku. He is here to battle him and doesn't want things to end like last time. Loss will not be an option. The two fighters stand against each other for the second time, and unbeknownst to Vegeta, the odds of this fight have somehow fallen even further out of his favour. "Why did you let yourself fall victim to that magician? I know you were better than that, Vegeta," Goku says, watching him. Their hair flows under the wind and Goku stands firm against his enemy. Vegeta is the first to act and enters his Super Saiyan 2 form. His crackling aura engulfs him and he charges right at Goku with everything he has. Throwing his first attack, Goku evades it and then blocks the next. Vegeta makes sure to start off light to justify any sort of resistance that Goku puts up. He can see that the Saiyan is taking his attacks easily and so ups the gears. He begins using more intense attacks and puts more force into every single one of the strikes. However, while Goku is still in his base form, he can handle each attack rather easily. "Vegeta, there is no use in you trying to take this battle. I can see that you are annoyed that I am superior to you, but you have to let it go," Goku explains. Vegeta hears this and only gets angrier. The veins on his body enlarge and his eyes look crazed as he launches a full power Big Bang attack right at Goku. The smoke clears and Vegeta smiles upon seeing nobody within the dark cloud. "Yes, I finally got you, Kakarot. Your confidence made you weak and I was able to surpass you." "Not really, Vegeta," Goku then says from behind him. Goku has absorbed the power of God Ki into his base form, giving him a substantial boost onto his power. His friends don't have the luxury of the system, and such system gave Goku even more boosts to his strength over his life. With this God Ki boost too, the gap between him and Vegeta is so large that the Saiyan Prince couldn't even really comprehend it. Goku enters his Super Saiyan God form, but then Goku ascends further and enters his own Super Saiyan Blue form. He is engulfed by the blue aura and Vegeta looks at Goku with utter surprise. He can't believe this fighter has such power that he has hidden from everyone. The Saiyan doesn't stop there and begins shouting, reaching higher levels of power. The others can't sense the strength that he has right now, but it's insane. He is above even his Resurrection F state from the canon by this point. He enters his Super Saiyan Blue evolution form and is covered by an explosive dark blue aura. He then latches his aura onto Vegeta's. He begins using the God Hold technique, and this was something that he had learnt from the 3rd Saiyan Book of Legends. Vegeta can't even move in the grasp of this powerful encapsulating aura and he even struggles to breathe. "I command you to release me from this clique. Release me now," Vegeta roars. This feeling of powerlessness just makes Vegeta very furious. He is almost brought to tears as no matter how hard he tries, he cannot release himself from the aura. Goku can see his mind becoming incredibly unstable and doesn't really know what to do. He could have just hid his strength to save Vegeta's feeble mind, but why would he have done that? It's not his fault that this prince can't accept his inferiority. Goku then begins using a special lasso technique, another use of God Ki detailed in his most recent book given to him by the system. It extends to Vegeta's neck and then becomes firm like the power pole. Tapping Vegeta's neck, the Saiyan has been defeated just like that and starts falling from the sky. Goku catches him, but Goku's transformation provides Babidi with a much better source of energy, God Ki. This God Ki from his transformation quickly fills the meter and gives Buu enough power to activate while making him significantly stronger than he was in the canon timeline. Goku and the fighters are transported to the scene with a knocked out Vegeta over Goku's shoulder. The other fighters knew that this was going to happen and Raditz can only imagine how furious he's going to be when he wakes up. Majin Buu awakes and stands against the warriors with his childlike appearance and attitude. The fighters are simultaneously humoured and spooked since this is the supposed fighter capable of wiping out galaxies. "What, are we supposed to fight that thing?" Raditz wonders, pointing at the warrior. "I think so," Goku says, laying down Vegeta. Goku steps forward, standing at the forefront of the group. Majin Buu charges at Goku, shooting a blast of energy at him. The Saiyan is quick to evade and the pink blast doesn't get anywhere near him. It explodes behind him and Goku is surprised by the destructive capacity of that attack. He starts paying more attention to the warrior and decides to charge right at it in his base form. He doesn't see a need to ascend into his more powerful states from the jump and just wants to test the waters with his ordinary body. He viciously punches the fighter and breaks apart its entire body. His punch sounds like a gunshot and Goku thinks that the job is done, however the spectating Kais know that cannot be the end of that beast. He reforms and his body looks just as healthy as it was before, and now the warrior is intent on taking Goku more serious after receiving such an impactful strike. Goku swiftly evades the next punch and easily manages the next few attacks also. Buu has become stronger, but it still isn't enough to give Goku a run for his money. Goku, while fighting this warrior, is just thinking about how he can finish it off for good. He decides that he'll need to take it out in one big blast, and this is what he tries to do. He enters his Super Saiyan Blue evolution form and takes a big step back, charging up his Kamehameha wave. The attack starts releasing so much energy that the spectating fighters are forced to fly away as fast as they can. Just his aura is a colossal size, and the waves of wind and ki being released would be enough to break apart mountains. He roars and launches the energy blast, hitting Buu straight on before he has the chance to even react. He is hit instantly and the blast engulfs him. It overwhelms the fighter and Goku pushes as hard as he can. This blast starts vaporizing the being completely, foiling Babidi's chances at using his greatest asset. Buu is gone and Babidi attempts to fly away to not also meet the same fate. All Goku must do is use his Sadala Slash to waste the fighter completely, defeating him. The threat of Buu is gone and Peach returns to Earth once again. The margin symbol on Vegeta is now gone and his mind has been returned to him. Upon waking up though, his mentality is relatively unchanged. He still thinks about how he can surpass Goku and spends a lot of time thinking this through. His solitary training doesn't seem to be doing him any favours and he must take a separate approach to catch up to him. Even if he fails, he must die trying, because remaining behind the Saiyan is haunting his mind. Later on that day, Raditz is meditating on his own. He starts hearing somebody flying right at him at full pelt, so he opens his eyes to see what the matter is. However, he can see Vegeta just standing there, facing him. "What is it, Vegeta?" he asks, while Vegeta remains silent for many seconds after he says this. "I need to find a way to get stronger. You're going to enter the hyperbolic time chamber with me so that I can surpass your brother Kakarot," he explains. Raditz is a bit confused and doesn't really know if that was a question that he had just asked. He would have agreed to doing so anyway, but he knows that Vegeta isn't the politest person. He will never ask of such a thing from somebody that he deems below him. He believes that he has the right to give orders like that. It's what he's been used to for most of his life. "Alright then, you could have just asked me. It would be good for me to get some extra training time over my brother, to be honest," Raditz replies. With that, the large period between Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Super begins. While Goku is just training on his own, something special happens. He feels quite nauseous and his head starts hurting a lot. He feels great pain and stumbles to the ground in a wasteland he's training in. His body starts tensing up and he falls onto one of his arms, grasping his body tightly. The pain slowly subsides and then the system appears in front of him. Configuring. The user has met the prerequisites for a system upgrade. System upgraded. The Ultimate Saiyan System version 2, the Saiyan Ascendant System. Goku feels an outburst of wind from around him and is surprised by this notification. It's like his system has gone through a total revamp and even the panels look slightly different. User Kakarot brackets Goku. Titles: One Man Army, Royal's Bane. Key Control 8, Intelligence 5, Reflexes 8, Durability 15, Adaptability 4, Perception 7. New quest, Tutorial Quest, Ascendant Saiyan Program. Begin the basic Ascendant Saiyan program and complete every single day for 365 days. Reward, System Completion. It seems like Goku is back to square one, but he has the feeling that the mountain he must climb is much larger. He decides to see what this new system of his has to offer and is not met by Yamoshi, but instead someone like him with white hair and glowing white eyes. "Who are you?" Goku asks. Basic mortal description cannot truly explain myself. In simpler terms, I am a non-physical being, a manifestation of this upgraded system designed to guide you through this training program, the being explains. It has the voice of Yamoshi but has a weird galactic undertone to it. It's like he is a physical manifestation of the cosmos itself, as he is surrounded by a celestial multicolored aura. Unlike the first version of this system, this training program will be focused on honing your use of God Ki along with Hybrid Ki. Your abilities with God Ki were first developed by Yamoshi in the previous version of the system, but the Ancient Saiyan didn't have the capabilities to truly grant you these skills. The information in the third book handed to you was only the basics to the vast world of Ki manipulation and martial arts. Here in this program, Goku begins being taught about the concepts behind God Ki and Hybrid Ki. Hybrid Ki is a concept basically unique to the system that he can use through the use of his siphoning Royal Saiyan relic. He was also utilizing a similar thing through the Ring of Yamoshi. Since he has defeated a Royal Saiyan in the past and with God Ki, he has been given the ability to command the Ki of the Royal Saiyans that came before him. When he utilizes their Ki, his Ki and their own mix to form a more powerful type of Ki. The system describes it as a great way to almost multiply one's power. It resembles the fusion of one's body but isn't as powerful since it isn't total fusion of bodies but just energies instead. It is extremely powerful and puts a great toll on the body when used too rashly. Goku's training focuses on extremely long meditation sessions, like excruciatingly long meditation sessions. However, it's what Goku must do to harness the true power of God Ki and Hybrid Ki, almost an offshoot of God Ki. He is still given the large volumes of food like before for him to munch on, while he also utilizes senzu beans where necessary to make himself even more powerful. However, he does need to work with Korin's limited supply of them. During this time, Raditz and Vegeta have been training and have gained quite the relationship. Vegeta has started to learn to treat others better and respects his comrade more once he sees how strong he is. Their spars are always exciting and they give it their all to try and win. Their powers are similar and Vegeta is given the slight edge just due to him being a Saiyan prince. However, after what the prince has seen, he knows his status means nothing now. For him to reach true strength, he must let those shallow thought processes go. The two Saiyans have something in mind, and that is to use the Dragon Balls. They acquire them, and once he is summoned, they wish for their potentials to be unlocked. This does seem to go against Vegeta's character, but I think since he's so much weaker than Goku, he would actually comply with going down this route. Shenron can perform an individual action to several people at once, seen from how he can revive numerous individuals with a single wish. Therefore, this single wish should be valid, and their potentials are both unlocked. They both feel an immediate jump in power, and both have access to Super Saiyan 3 now. Their powers are going to plateau if they don't access God Ki, but it won't be long before the god that is Beerus wakes up from his 3-decade-long slumber. A year passes and Goku has finished his training session. It's hard to really quantify how much he's grown in strength when we go into God Ki and Dragon Ball Super territory, but he is way stronger. He has an insane level of ki control that allows him to use Super Saiyan Blue evolution similarly to Super Saiyan Grade 4. There is a stamina drain, but he has kept it to a minimum. You've performed well, mortal being. I hope that we meet again so that I can advance your knowledge and progress your training even more. With this, the trainer vanishes and his quest is complete. Quest complete, +1 all stats, +3 techniques, user Kakarot brackets Goku, titles, One Man Army, Royal's Bane, Ki Control 9, Intelligence 6, Reflexes 9, Durability 16, Adaptability 5, Perception 8. Technique, Delayed Destruction, an attack where the initial attack only provides low force but applies a strength equivalent to 10 times the user's battle power a brief time later. Technique, Advanced After Image. The user can create several after images with the same battle power as the usual for several seconds.
Causes heavy stamina drain and requires ki to be split amongst the after images. Ki intensive attacks cannot be used as effectively.
Technique, Hybrid Ki Deterioration. The ki from different sources are placed together, forming a destructive ball of energy that violently detonates upon contact with a solid object. However, the ball also detonates after a few seconds of travel. These are the main techniques that he has been introduced to through the training program, and he tries to see how he can use the Hybrid Ki. In a Gizzard Wasteland, he tightens the bracelet and almost starts to tap into the power. He can then see the silhouettes of the great kings of the Saiyans before they almost materialize in this black realm in his mind into real individuals. What do you want with us? One of the older kings asks, irritated. I need your power, Goku commands. The Saiyans don't look pleased with his command and only give him a sliver of their strength. Upon taking this sliver, Goku's muscles buff up and he can see veins all over his body. He almost falls to the ground and can feel the sources of ki colliding within him. What is this, he wonders, before lifting his arm. He lifts his hand and begins using the Hybrid Ki Deterioration skill. He can see blasts of multiple colours like the Stardust Breaker of Gogeta swirling together unstably. Unlike Gogeta's attack, where the flow of colour is elegant and almost graceful, here it's chaotic and unsettling. He hurls the ball of ki forward and the entire ball doesn't go far before exploding intensely. An entire crater is formed even though the blast is decently above the ground and Goku is launched back. He sends the ki within his body back to the bracelet and can feel that he has been heavily strained. He thought that God Ki would be the be-all end-all of stamina draining ki, but that just isn't the case. God Ki hasn't really been shown as that type of ki in the series, but Hybrid Ki's chaotic and explosive nature makes it hard for a single body to contain it. From this training, Raditz and Vegeta have almost become brothers in arms. After entering the hyperbolic time chamber twice, they have some traits that they've been hiding from Goku. They seem quite arrogant and snobbish, but this is all for a reason. Vegeta has some scars on his body from all the training and Raditz does too. They seem to have stoic, hard-willed minds now. Raditz has almost beaten the arrogance out of Vegeta, but not completely. Confidence still fuels the same prince. Kakarot, your reign ends here, the two Saiyans claim, standing beside each other. Vegeta is in Mastered Super Saiyan while Raditz has chosen to remain in his base form. Is that so? Have you two been training? Goku asks. Vegeta just scoffs upon hearing this. We've not just been training, we've evolved, he claims. They make their stances and the fight soon begins. Goku begins in his base form and Raditz charges at Goku in his base form. He throws his first attack but sees that Goku takes it with ease. His champion gi now sewn up and repaired by Chi-Chi is ready to go and can take on that damage with ease. Vegeta charges past Raditz and throws a full power knee onto Goku's chest, barely even making the insanely powerful warrior budge. The two fighters retreat and see that in these forms they won't be doing much. Therefore they up their powers and enter their Super Saiyan 3 forms. The auras combine as they become so large, then they speed right off to continue the battle. Even with this second attempt of theirs, Goku is too strong and they can barely even get him to take them seriously. Goku's body has been invigorated with the power of God Ki and he has received training from an angelic being, granting him very high levels of ki control. His champion gi is making him 3 times as strong and his superhuman perception allows him to see attacks much before the fighters assume that he can see them coming. They are now tired and panting, standing side by side. Goku's breathing is calm and controlled and he makes his firm battle stance again as he awaits the arrival of the two warriors. They both then nod to each other and Goku wonders what that nod was all about. Raditz begins shouting and his hair returns to black. He is surrounded by a black aura and this aura has red crackling energy within it. He enters his new form unique to himself as a result of the potential unlocking. I call this Super Saiyan Inferno, he shouts, surrounded by black energy and crackling red lightning. Vegeta then screams and powers up into his very own state. His hair switches to a rose pink colour and his aura becomes that same hue. Vegeta then engulfs in the power of his own unique state. Vegeta didn't spend time to call this form anything, he just calls it Royal Vegeta. He looks calmer in this state and more resolute than even before. You stand no chance against us now, Kakarot, Vegeta states. Alright then, let's see what you guys have got, Goku says, anticipating their advance. The two warriors blast off with newfound speed and Goku can't even believe what he's seeing. They move insanely quickly and Goku can't even understand how they're doing such a thing. He gets hit with both of their attacks at once, launching him back. He feels winded by the attack and is almost forced to enter serious mode. Goku launches out a slow Sadala slash because he knows how destructive it can be. Before it can touch them, Vegeta dips under it and breaks it apart with a punch. The white slash of ki disintegrates from this punch, then he charges forward for his target. Goku just about dodges the first punch because of his incredible perception, but is hit with the next one. Raditz then shouts with fury and zooms toward Goku, landing a full power strike that launches him off his feet and into a mountain. Raditz laughs arrogantly and almost seems more battle hungry than usual. He has a primal demeanor and he fist bumps Vegeta upon seeing Goku within the mountainside. He pulls himself off the wall of rock before looking incredulously at the two fighters. He isn't exactly sure how they have grown so much so quickly, but he does have answers. Did they unlock their potential? No, there's no way. Vegeta will never do such a thing, Goku wonders. However, he then thinks about how badly he has been beaten down by him. The sense of inferiority Vegeta felt might have been impossible for him to get rid of without the possible potential unlocking. He powers up into his basic Super Saiyan state since he doesn't want to go overkill. He zooms down with his new speed, but the two warriors seem able to perceive him and ready to take any of his incoming attacks. Goku hits Raditz first, who blocks his punch with his forearm before driving his fist into his gut. Vegeta then takes a shot himself, punching Goku in the side of his face. Goku is then shot away with a kick and sent rolling and rolling away. Vegeta stands calmly against Goku with his flowing pink hair because of his aura. He speeds right after Goku as he tumbles away, catching him with a straight punch to his face. He then follows through with a kick to his body to force him downward. Raditz takes a shot himself and punches the fighter further into the ground. Goku feels some immense pain upon taking that attack and is very grateful for his champion gi as he feels such agony fade away over time. Even if the champion gi is healing him, he is outmatched in this form. The two fighters see the opportunity and want to beat him here. They both rain down with attacks, but Goku puts his forearms up to keep himself somewhat protected. Once he is given the opportunity, he activates his God Ki and flies right forward, which is sideways for Vegeta and Raditz since they are stood up. Goku is empowered by his God Ki and stands against the fighters with his graceful aura. Raditz and Vegeta still seem confident, but this is the end of the road for them. Goku begins using his advanced after image technique. He surrounds them with 10 clones of himself, all in Super Saiyan God with the champion gi to empower themselves. The hazy clones of him charge right forward and engage in battle with these warriors. They continuously fight their adversaries and fight with a sense of true resolution and fighting spirit. Raditz and Vegeta outclass these clones in terms of raw physical ability, but it's hard to keep their bodies covered up with several individuals actively trying to attack them. Goku then targets Raditz, landing a straight shot on his person with the use of his delayed destruction skill. Of course, Raditz feels very little and just goes in to attack Goku with a chuckle after taking an attack that was seemingly so weak. However, he is struck with a delayed strike and feels his internal organs shake upon taking such a heavy impact. He coughs out blood and almost crumbles upon taking his shot. He can feel intense pain on the surface of his body and also on the skin too. Goku then moves on and aims for the next warrior. He charges right at Vegeta but takes him off guard by swerving around him. He follows up with his precise strike skill, and this 5 times boost to his strength along with a strike straight on Vegeta's heart area severely damages him. The two fighters end up reverting to their base forms upon taking these hits, and Goku smiles with satisfaction. I can't believe you two have grown this strong in such a short amount of time. I must say, I never would have expected you two to bridge the gap between us in such a way, Goku says with praise. What does it matter? You're still stronger. What tricks do you have to make you still stronger? Vegeta asks angrily, grabbing Goku by the neck of his shirt. Vegeta has sacrificed a lot of his time that he could have spent watching his little boy Trunks growing up and placed it toward trying to surpass Goku instead. However, he has just managed to overpower him time and time again. Whenever he has made leaps and bounds in growth, Goku has moved 10 times further. Raditz goes over to try and placate the prince. Come on Vegeta, it's not his fault that he's stronger, we just need to put more work in, Raditz explains. I know how I can make you two stronger, Goku explains. Vegeta scoffs and pulls back, very reluctant to hear what he has to say. I'll beat you through my own methods. I will not become your student, Kakarot, Vegeta exclaims, furious. No, there's a reason why I'm still stronger than you two, and it's not just because I work harder or because I have better talent, Goku explains. Vegeta gets ready to give another angry reply, but Raditz places his hand on his chest and signals for him to be silent. What's that then? Raditz asks inquisitively. You two focus on a power called Ki. I'm sure you both realised it, but when I entered this form, my signature vanished, Goku then replies. He then goes on to explain the existence of GOKU before the emergence of Beerus 2 years before to be exact. The two Saiyans are now on the road to gain the power of GOKU for themselves. With their potential unlocked states that provide them with enormous amounts of power, the sky is truly the limit for them. 2 years pass and the two Saiyans gain access to the power of GOKU. What they soon realise is that their unique forms far outclass Super Saiyan God. After receiving a boost to their base forms, they are relative to Goku now. Even when Goku is in Super Saiyan Blue Evolution and is using all his quirky abilities, they can fight him toe to toe for long periods of time before they are outmatched. Without the champion Gi and his skills, Goku would be beat by them. They have stuck to Super Saiyan God for now because they see no use in the other forms. From what they have observed, their special forms outclass even Super Saiyan Blue too. Orange Piccolo and Beast Gohan both have multipliers that are insane, so the same thing has applied to the Saiyans forms of the same nature. Beerus wakes from his slumber and heads to Earth after seeing his dream of the Super Saiyan God. He finds the three Saiyans training together and Vegeta is immediately on edge. Even after how much he's grown in strength, he's not quick to insult or look for problems with this man. He knows just who he is, but Raditz and Goku have absolutely no clue who he is. Vegeta only knows him from his father, so even Raditz is clueless. Do any of you three happen to be the Super Saiyan God? I saw the being in my dreams and I would like to face him in the heat of battle, Beerus asks. If none of you can find him if you are not Super Saiyan Gods, I will destroy the planet, Beerus then declares, shocking the Saiyans that hear him. Raditz goes on to try and badmouth him with fury, but Vegeta stops him. No, not to him, he commands, with a quiet but firm tone. He can see in Vegeta's eyes that he means business and is being totally serious. Therefore, Raditz listens and calms himself. I know, he's not any of us, Goku states, surprising the likes of Raditz and Vegeta. Okay then, where is this Super Saiyan God? Beerus asks. He's dead, died a very long time ago, however we can bring him back for you, Goku explains. Raditz and Vegeta are just looking at Goku as he is spouting what is pretty much nonsense to them, but they let him carry on for now. What follows is Shenron being called up and Goku wishes for Yamoshi to be revived. He assumes that Beerus is asking about the first Super Saiyan God, and from his descriptions he most definitely is referring to Yamoshi. Yamoshi is revealed from this wish and appears in his ancient Saiyan clothing. What is this? I've been revived, he realises, feeling his physical body. At the hands of a dragon, not the system, he whispers to himself. The others can't hear him whisper, but Goku has much superior senses. He can hear his reference to the system exactly. He then really wants to bring this up with him to learn more about it, but he sees that there are people all around him. If this Yamoshi guy has returned, he should have all the time in the world to ask him about his system in the future. Yes, it's you. You were the Super Saiyan God of my dreams, Beerus realises, pointing at Yamoshi. Lord Beerus, it's a pleasure to meet you, he states, bowing to him. Alright then, let's get to the fight, Beerus states, erupting in his purple aura. Yamoshi then looks at him very confused. Very well then, he says to himself, with a smile. He enters his own Super Saiyan God form, but Goku can tell that he isn't on their level. He is one of the strongest Saiyans in existence, but they far outclass him now. Beerus and Yamoshi have their battle, and Yamoshi by this point is around relative to Goku in canon, however he is even slightly weaker. This makes Beerus even less interested in their fight, and he aims his hand downwards. You have disappointed me, Saiyan, and for that I will go on to destroy this planet, Beerus states. Of course this isn't Yamoshi's planet, but he has sympathy for these people. He will look down on needless destruction of all kinds. Goku hears this and decides to step in to hope to give him a better fight. Yamoshi is quite beat and hyperventilating, and Goku covers him from Beerus' view. "Let me fight you instead, I'm sure I can give you a better challenge," Goku says, entering his own Super Saiyan God form from the jump. "Oh, so you have the form as well, let's see what you're capable of," Beerus states, placing his hands behind his back. Goku charges forward and Yamoshi can't even perceive his movements. The Saiyan moves with immense swiftness and Beerus blocks the first attack with a smile. He is shot back and smiles from the impact he receives. Goku by this point outclasses even his granola self when comparing bases. He already surpassed the canon version of himself facing Golden Frieza before even Buu arrived. After 3 years of hard training based on using Zenkais as much as he can, working with Korin's limited Senzu Bean supply along with his system, he has entered a whole different league. He rains down with several punches and kicks, but Beerus takes every single one of the attacks with ease. Goku is very surprised by the abilities of this God of Destruction and hasn't seen anyone but Vegeta and Raditz take his punches in Super Saiyan God so easily. Beerus immediately tries to attack Goku, but he uses his insane control of God Ki to split himself into several after images. This level of control catches the eye of Whis, who no longer looks as calm and relaxed. Beerus looks around confused by the several images of Goku charging toward him. He swings at one and launches them back, only to get hit by another from his side. 2 Goku clones then shoot out their Sadala slashes, making them combine into a much larger, more destructive slash of Red God Ki. He just about turns in time to view it and dips under it, smiling as he watches the blade soar mere centimeters above his face. He receives simultaneous punches from all the clones of Goku, and each of them are equal to Goku in power. This means that they can apply significant amounts of power together. Beerus is launched away, then Goku continues by using his Death Beam acquired from Frieza. With God Ki it's much faster and more penetrating, but Beerus seems to teleport from side to side with his immense speed as he dodges the attacks. Goku continues, trying his best to catch the god, but he continuously evades. Goku can see that he won't be doing much in this form, even if it's what the God of Destruction wants. "How about I use an even stronger form than this one? You might not have seen it in your dreams, but you'd definitely be in for a better fight," Goku explains. "Fine, show me what this power of yours is," he declares. Goku enters Super Saiyan Blue Evolution right away, receiving a 1000 times multiplier to his previous strength. He then charges forward and catches the God of Destruction off guard with his new speed. He punches him on his chest and launches him away. As he falls, Goku decides to throw 2 consecutive Sadala slashes before diving down there himself. Beerus evades the 2 slashes but is forced to block a kick coming from the Saiyan. He lands firmly on his feet and the force from the crack causes the ground to break from his landing. The 2 warriors continue battling fiercely, but Goku just can't seem to gain the upper hand. It's like this Beerus being is omnipotent. No matter how much he tries to make himself stronger, he can continuously and restlessly shut him down. However, now Beerus is trying. It's not like usual where he can club at anyone with a sliver of his power. This is by far the best fight that he has had from a morsel in his life. Goku is now bleeding, relying on his champion Gi to keep him going. However, the healing is not fast at all. His ability to steal the life force from Beerus as they battle doesn't even seem to be holding him back. He seems just as vigorous and healthy as he was before they started fighting. "You have fought well, but you have not managed to entertain me fully. Therefore, as punishment, I shall take your life and the planet also. We have to go in there and help," Raditz says to himself. From this event, everyone is now here and watching the battle go down. They were supposed to head to Bulma's birthday party, but they all teleported here upon hearing the commotion with the arrival of Beerus. They watch on in fear as they simply do not want their planet to go along with them. However, if Goku can't stop this evil man, what could they do? Vegeta just grunts in anger, kicking a stone in front of him as he feels helpless. All they can do is watch on and place their bets on Goku winning this battle for all of them. Goku hastily looks down to the bracelet that he is wearing and decides to contact the ancient royal Saiyans. "What do you want?" he hears once again. "Look, I don't know why you guys are so rude to me, but I need your power. Not much, but I need to be strong enough to save everyone," Goku replies. "Rude, we're kings, we get to say what we please," another of the kings explains, furious. "Let's see how long you last with this power since you want enough." The royals just extend their arms and Goku snaps back into reality, seeing a ball of purple ki that only seems to be getting bigger. However, upon feeling his mind return to him, he feels so much ki in his body it's like it's about to explode. He coughs out blood and his mind starts racing. It's like he can barely keep his sanity. The ground starts shaking from the power that he is outputting and he has blood coming down his nose. However, he feels strong enough now. He tries his best to overlook the pain in his body and gives off a creepy smile at Beerus, who is stood still with surprise. His face is neutral initially, but he cracks a wide smile upon seeing and feeling the power that he is exuding. This is it. This will be the greatest fight of his life. Before I start this video, I just wanted to announce that I'm starting a web novel called The Warrior Mechanic. It's a great unique blend of sci-fi, action and lit RPG. I'll put a link to it in the description, and if you like my writing and my what ifs, I'm sure you'll like the writing in this web novel. Goku in this new state of his doesn't have much time. His champion ki is slowing the damage that is being done to his body, but the damage is acting faster than the healing process. He zooms straight toward Beerus and elbows him right in his jaw. This fast, powerful strike hurls him back, then he chases right after the retreating god in flight. Beerus slams into a mountainside, blocking the next punch aimed for him. This causes him to get launched right through the entire mountain. Goku zooms through the rubble, destroying the rocks that fall close to his aura. Once both fighters are revealed from the falling debris, Beerus shoots a heavily destructive ki blast toward Goku. It's about the size of a fist, so rather miniature, but can cause complete decimation. Goku combats this incoming blast with his Sadala slash. As his slash hits the ki blast, it cuts the blast right in two. The two remnants of the ki blast explode beside him, but Goku is not bothered about this. With blood dripping down his face from his nose and mouth, he only has one mission. Beerus catches him with a punch to the face, but the Saiyan grits his teeth and pushes against this strike that lands on his jaw. His blue eyes lock onto Beerus, then he throws a punch of his own that launches Beerus downward. He then continues with a relentless assault and is clearly given the upper hand. Even with Beerus being slimmer and quicker on his feet, there is nothing that he can do to combat Goku's monstrous strength. Goku drams his fist into his stomach, making the god fold over and cough out a mixture of spit and blood. He drops onto one arm, but then engulfs in his special Fury aura once again. Shooting back up to his feet, he roars with rage and forces even Goku back. His eyes are now bloodshot. As he aims his hand forward, he begins growing a large destruction blast while laughing. "Let's see how you deal with this, Saiyan God," he shouts as waves of wind and ki blast out from his general location. Goku can see this and decides to begin using his hybrid ki blast, the hybrid ki deterioration skill. The various colours of ki swell together and mix, forming a chaotic concentration of colliding energies. Just the growing of these two blasts causes the ground to crack and break under the force. The two warriors prepare to launch their blasts at each other, but Whis lands in between them. He isn't aimed for both fighters, but is instead principally aimed at Goku. This unstable collection of ki isn't something that Goku can suppress or break down. It just continues growing even more unstable, and he helplessly shoots it at the angel. With a wave of his staff, he shoots it into the sky where it releases a massive explosion. Even though it is launched well above the clouds, it detonates and breaks such clouds far apart. Beerus shrinks his blast until it vanishes and looks very disappointed. "Why did you stop me? I just started having fun," Beerus shouts. "The energy in that blast was too dangerous. I am just your supervisor, but I am also your protector, Beerus," Whis explains. What the angel says is indirect, but the god of destruction understands the underlying tone of that message. If that blast landed on him, he might have been heavily injured or possibly killed. Goku just collapses after taking such a heavy toll on his body. The others must rush to the scene and they attend to him right away. He remains unconscious for a long period of time, and Goku returns to his mind. "I'm back here again," he realizes, looking at the Saiyan Kings in front of him. "You survived that, what a surprise," an old Saiyan King states. "What, so you guys were trying to kill me?" Goku asks, alarmed. "Well, it's what you asked for. The amount of ki you commanded was supposed to be a death sentence, but somehow you made it through," the same king replies, somewhat astonished. "Maybe we were wrong to judge you after all." Upon hearing this, Goku jolts up. He hears several sighs of relief upon waking up and is surrounded by everyone. Goten, Trunks, Raditz, Chi-Chi, Krillin, Master Roshi, almost everyone. Whis has healed him right away and he feels as good as new. "You're a valiant warrior, Saiyan, much stronger than you should be," Beerus says, somewhat jealous of his strength. With this, Goku has climbed above the gods of destruction after seeing his first one in the same day. What comes is a training period for the Saiyans. Raditz and Vegeta want to receive some training under the Angel, and Goku does too. Yamoshi actually tags along since all of his friends that he had in his previous life are long gone. Therefore, there's no need for him to stay on Earth with people that he doesn't really know. He also finds it great to see that there are so many good-willed Saiyans around protecting their loved ones with their lives. His system hasn't given him any specific quests to direct his training, and so he decides to fall under Whis' wing. Hidden quest complete, Angel Apprentice. +3 ki control, +1 intelligence, +2 perception, +3 adaptability, +2 reflexes. User Kakarot (Goku). Titles: One Man Army, Royal's Bane. Ki control 12, intelligence 9, reflexes 11, durability 16, adaptability 8, perception 10. After making this leap in his training, he receives a significant improvement on his system. He can soon feel these increased attributes in battle. When fighting the likes of Vegeta and Raditz, he can see their attacks very easily and has learned their fighting styles with his greater intelligence. He also does this more quickly using his adaptability stat as well. Vegeta and Raditz are born to fight and they have pretty much done the same, however Goku did so much more quickly and to a higher degree. It's to the point where he almost knows their first attacks and has learned the best counters for such attacks to give him the upper hand when they spar initially. When training under Whis, the Angel can see that Goku has great potential for the use of Ultra Instinct. However, even though he has very precise ki control, he still fights ferociously and like a Saiyan would. Goku lacks the idea of fighting calmly and with clarity, but totally abandoning his Saiyan instincts feel alien to him. After being taught by Yamoshi about how to use his Saiyan abilities to his advantage, it almost feels like the wrong thing to do. For Vegeta and Raditz, they possess the same sentiment, and to an even greater degree for that matter. Soon Frieza is revived and returns to Earth to get revenge on Goku for viciously killing him in the past. He returns with his army, and those that remain on Earth to act as resistance aren't actually that strong. Gohan is much weaker and can't even properly go Super Saiyan. He never had any time in the hyperbolic time chamber, while there is no one like Piccolo to face these warriors. All they have are the humans that are much weaker too. Tien is around the same level as he was in canon, because I believe that he would still train to a similar level. So he is like the main fighter for humanity that aids in the battle against Frieza's massive army. Frieza soon faces the likes of these fighters and makes easy work of those like Goten, Gohan and Trunks. He goes on to try and take down the humans, but Vegeta lands in front of him. Kakarot got to take you down last time, so now it's my turn to do the same, Vegeta says from out of the blue. Yamoshi is in the skies watching this with his arms crossed. So this is the evil man that you two spoke of, Frieza, right? He asks. The Ancient Saiyan doesn't like the sound of this man at all. He was aghast upon hearing that planet Vegeta was destroyed by the likes of him. He was happy to see that the Saiyan race had survived past their tumultuous inner conflicts and quarrels, but to hear that so little of them remain hurts him. He would love to see this Emperor receive proper retribution, and he can tell that Vegeta is hoping for the same outcome too. You will do nothing to me in this state, transform like the others say you can, Vegeta commands. Oh wow, it seems you've been waiting to boss me around your entire life, Vegeta, haven't you? Frieza says. Vegeta's eye twitches upon hearing this remark and he just stands firm. Just do it, I won't want to destroy you if you're not full strength, he explains. Frieza shouts and enters his final form, a state that none of these warriors have even seen before. The form that Goku saw before he killed him was only a second form. Haven't seen this before, have you? He asks, before charging toward Vegeta. He throws a powerful punch, one of the strongest that he can throw, but Vegeta catches his fist and swerves it out the way before kicking him right in his stomach. His kick drops him to his knees, causing him to slide forward slowly. He soon hyperventilates upon feeling this strike and drops his head onto the ground. The pain is almost unbearable and Vegeta looks like he could do that in his sleep. I'm very unimpressed if that's your full power, Frieza. Oh well, Vegeta says, creating a ki blast in his palm. Don't be an arrogant fool, Vegeta, Frieza shouts, slowly rising to his feet. Did you think I came back to be slaughtered again? Did you really think I would return without a game plan? He asks. He lets off a maniacal smile before crouching into a powering up position. Let me show you a new power of mine, he declares, before shouting and powering up. He shows off his new power of Golden Frieza and the group look quite surprised upon feeling how strong he is now. He's stronger than me, what a fighter, Yamoshi says with eyes widened. Yamoshi has amazing ki control, so he can pretty much tell exactly how strong someone is when they're using ordinary ki. Of course, when he's sensing God ki, the ability to gauge someone's power isn't as accurate. Goku and Raditz on the other hand are totally calm. Vegeta steps back and readies himself. He's not arrogant enough to try and fight Frieza in his base form when he's this strong now. In reaction though, he transforms into his Super Saiyan God form and makes his battle stance. Frieza shouts and dashes right toward him, throwing a sequence of powerful, fierce blows. Vegeta blocks or evades them and can soon see how this fight will end up. In Super Saiyan God, fighting this warrior is an absolute breeze. He taps away every attack coming his way and stops the Golden Warrior with two powerful punches to his stomach. Upon taking this attack, he coughs out blood, then shouts and tries to attack him after being hurt so badly only to totally miss Vegeta. The Saiyan Prince watches his fist soar right past his face, then he punches him right in the face to drop him to the ground. He holds his bleeding face, then slowly looks up to the prince that towers over him. How? You are a weakling, Frieza asks, before coughing even more. I was, but now I'm something else. I have surpassed even the gods, he declares, holding his hand to his face. Wait, Vegeta, I can give you anything that you desire. I can even give you a leading role in my empire. You would be my right-hand man, he says, practically pleading for his life. I don't care about your empire. Do you want me to willingly be part of an empire that orchestrated the suffering and tyranny over my people that are now dead because of you? Frieza can't even say anything in response to that and is shocked to see a ki blast already soaring to his face before he even has time to enact his plan B of destroying the planet. The Emperor is blown to smithereens and he is gone for good this time. Now what follows these events is the Tournament of Destroyers. The group want to prepare themselves for this upcoming tournament, and Yamoshi cannot wait to see those from other than his own universe. What he is hoping for though is to see if there are any Universe 6 Saiyans. The Saiyans want to make sure that they're strong enough to be valid fighters in this tournament, and they don't know how strong their competitors are going to be. Therefore they want to enter the Hyperbolic Time Chamber for a total of 3 years each. Goku decides to spend his last year on his own, and does this because of this special quest that he receives. New quest, Quest Intermediate Ascendant Program. Complete the intermediate level Ascendant Saiyan program every day for 365 days. Rewards, new title. Goku is happy to see what this quest is going to give him as a reward for completing it, and he hastily enters the Hyperbolic Time Chamber to begin. He is met by the angelic being that resembles Yamoshi and ends up sparring the being just like he did with Yamoshi. However, he can tell that this person is way stronger than the real Yamoshi. It's like a totally different level of power above even Beerus, and he thinks even Whis too. In this training period something special happens though. He unlocks the form of Ultra Instinct Sign and can fight back against the simulated warrior much better. The power boost from this state sends him far above his friends that he has already beat in terms of power. Transformation acquired, Transformation, Ultra Instinct Sign. The Saiyan body has adapted to the technique of Ultra Instinct by creating a transformation capable of providing the user with a significant portion of Ultra Instinct. The body can nearly perfectly attack and defend in this state. What is surprising about this transformation is that when he uses the form, this is what his stats look like. User Kakarot brackets Goku, titles One Man Army, Royals Bane. Key control 12, intelligence 9, reflexes 11++, durability 16, adaptability 8, perception 10. With this form his reflexes are heavily boosted, so he wonders what will happen when his base reflexes stat increases. Goku has insanely high levels of durability, so he can take attacks from those that are significantly stronger than himself. He has his champion Gi to thank for that. After this extremely long training session, Goku has now far surpassed the likes of Beerus. Now he's creeping up on Whis when it comes to power. I don't think he's just there yet or relative to Whis, but I think he's making some serious progress. Following this period of training, Goku's Gi has almost fallen apart completely, and he feels that it no longer heals him or gives him a power boost. Its abilities have faded. Quest complete, new title, System Owner. The user has surpassed the creator of the system and can now take over the moniker of having ownership over it. +1 all stats, +1 item Zenkai Amplifier. This seed when consumed can permanently increase the potency of the Saiyan Zenkai by a substantial amount. +1 item, Ascendant Gi. An advanced form of Gi derived from the champion Gi, it applies a 5x boost to the user's battle power. It also slowly heals the body from injuries. Additionally, it applies a 10x boost to the durability stat of the user. +1 technique wound transfer. When wearing the Ascendant Gi, this technique allows for injuries from the user to be transferred to the person that inflicted such damage. If no person can be identified as the cause of an injury, it simply vanishes, can only be used twice per day. That sounds cool, Goku thinks upon reading up on the final technique he is given. A new white Gi is laid over his body and he can feel the immediate boost to his power. Emerging from the time chamber, the others can't tell how strong he has gotten, but he has grown an enormous amount. With his new white Gi, they stand no chance against him now. For the tournament, Yamoshi is the one that begins the fight. For the initial fighters, he makes quick work of them. Yamoshi can defeat Botomo, Frost, Automagetta, and is very interested in the fight that he's going to have with Kaba. Yamoshi is very happy to see a fellow Saiyan and doesn't want to end the fight quickly. Do you still reside on Tadala, he asks, catching a punch from him. Kaba just lifts one of his eyebrows before replying. Yes, I am from Tadala, Kaba replies, confused about why he is acting so friendly even though they are in the middle of fighting each other. Kaba then tries to attack him again and he blocks the initial punch that lands on his forearm. The two continue fighting and Yamoshi can see that this warrior is way stronger than the Saiyans of his universe. Maybe it's that he has no tail, who knows, he tells himself, dipping under a kick aimed for his face. Following this, he just stops fighting and Kaba is quite confused. Do your people have the capacity to use the Super Saiyan transformation, he asks. Kaba just looks totally confused by his statement. I guess not. If you are a Saiyan like us, then you should possess a latent power deep within you. And it takes a deep emotion to get it out, he says, before entering his own basic Super Saiyan state. Yamoshi speeds off to Kaba and steps to the side. He whizzes around him using his immense speed that he uses to throw him off and bewilder him. Kaba tries to hit him, but he just ends up touching air each time. His punches seem to phase through the trail of golden energy until he is swept right off his feet with a kick at his legs. Yamoshi then grabs his neck and slams him into the ground. Do you want to win? Where is your ferocity, Saiyan? You are one of us, so I know it's in there. Where is your need? He asks, while Kaba can barely breathe. The young Saiyan then looks to the god of his universe, Champa. He can see his gaze of dissatisfaction and looks back to the Saiyan towering over him with his pure blue eyes. He ends up feeling a tingling sensation in his back, then he completes his transformation. He transforms into a Super Saiyan form from his need for power and punches Yomoshi straight in his jaw. He smiles after taking that attack and is pleased with Cabba's progress after just minutes after fighting. He lets Cabba get out his pent-up anger from the power of this state. He has a strong desire to take down Yomoshi and the ancient Saiyan decides to let him get the final win. Once he takes a punch to his chest, he just throws himself out the ring and Cabba is deemed the winner. Yomoshi claps for the Saiyan alongside many of the participants of Universe 6 when he is out the ring, showing great sportsmanship to the other universe. This is what the other Saiyans have mainly noticed about him too. He seems to be a very righteous person and acts upon strong fortified principles. Goku is the main Saiyan that wants to step up. The others are reluctant to let him fight because they feel like if he gets a go, they win. Yomoshi has wiped the floor with most of the fighters that he's come up against. How could they have a chance to fight with the much stronger Goku being added to the mix? However, Goku says he has a few new techniques he must test out. That's him just wanting to try the new Ascendant Gi technique against somebody. Goku is up against Hit, the final fighter of their twin universe. He charges at the assassin and is surprised to see him vanish from view completely. Goku has suppressed himself significantly and this allows his body to get injured from the attack he knows is coming. Goku gets kicked in the side of his body and the kick gives him a minor bruise. He isn't very impressed with the injury that he's received and is surprised that it's minor since he has made himself much weaker. He made sure to do so because he knows how strong he is now. However, he mentally activates the skill and feels a light movement of energies across his pure white gi. Hit stumbles to the side slightly and is surprised to feel that pain is coming from the side of his body. He looks a little surprised and even looks down to his abdomen to check on what's happening. As he does so, this pretty much loses him the fight. Goku dashes forward with his suppressions totally lifted. Landing a punch to his chest, he coughs out a mix of spit and blood, gravely injured. In a last-ditch effort to save himself, he uses the time skip to throw himself to the other side of the ring. Goku is able to watch him as he moves and he initially thought that he had some form of teleportation technique. However, he's quite clearly just slowed time somehow to move more quickly. I wonder what that ability is, Goku says curiously, before Hit falls to the ground crippled. He struggles to even control his breathing and the match is called off as Hit is seen as no longer fit to continue. Vados attends to him quickly because they can see that the injury he has is life-threatening. Just a little wave of her wand gets rid of such injury and the tournament is over. Universe 7 lost a single fighter practically out of choice and they have come out victorious in a spectacular fashion. Once the group return to their training, something weird happens. In Capsule Corp, Bulma finds a random person nearly dead resting in one of the gardens of her complex. Upon walking closer, she finds that this person looks identical to Gohan. However, he looks a bit older and is far more muscular and has a scar down his face. Gohan, no, that can't be right, isn't he working in some job on Earth? He hasn't trained in years, Bulma thinks, alerting the Saiyans. Whis ends up transporting the Saiyans here on the 35-minute journey from Beerus planet to Earth upon hearing of the commotion. Goku never went to planet Yardrat to learn instant transmission, so he doesn't have that ability to instantaneously transport them there. The three warriors arrive at the gazebo that Bulma has kept the warrior in and he looks seriously beat up. They can all tell that this is Goku's son, Gohan. As soon as he wakes up from their arrival, he springs out of bed and goes straight for Goku. Big Bang attack, he shouts, alerting the group while also making Vegeta raise an eyebrow in confusion. Stop, what's wrong? Goku asks, trying his best to placate the angered warrior. The anger in his face washes away and he calms down. Sorry, I'm so sorry, I made it, he says weakly, falling back onto the bed. He explains to them what's happened and that there is a future timeline that has been destroyed by a man that looks exactly like Goku. He calls him Goku Black due to the black gi that he dons. This is a future timeline that wasn't created back in the Cell Saga, it was instead created around this time as Zamasu goes on to get his wish with the Super Dragon Balls. How have you survived so long? Raditz asks. He knows how strong Goku is and to be frank, if he was to ever go against them they wouldn't have a chance of beating him. Their only hope would be Whis, who is forced to be neutral and cannot go out of his way to protect mortals. It's Vegeta, I neglected training but he trained me from the ground up. We even entered the hyperbolic time chamber a few times too, he explains. Vegeta, Raditz blurts out, looking back to the other Saiyans. Vegeta looks slightly embarrassed and just scoffs. I need to go and face this guy. I know how I can take myself down, Goku claims. He wants to give hope to his friends and this future being, but he certainly does not know how he'd do that. If this future opponent of his happens to have his body and his system, how could he actually fight him? When he uses the Ascendant Gi's wound transfer technique, this Goku Black could just pull the same trick and just reverse it on him. However, from what he's saying, he's wearing a black gi, so he might not actually have the same ascendant gi that he possesses. Goku takes some time to muse over the matter, and he tries his best to try and find a way to beat his opponent. He just assumes that Goku Black is wearing a modified version of the ascendant gi. He wants to prepare for the worst. Just because he's in this body doesn't mean he possesses the abilities of his system. Even if he does, how would he know that he does? Goku must mentally call out the system that he already knows that he possesses. However, if any system panel was to appear when Goku Black is in his body, he will know that the system is there. They then head to the future timeline and they can see that the Earth is now in ruins. After Goku Black killed the Supreme Kais, the gods of Universe 7 that have their lives linked are now gone too. That includes Beerus. He steps out into the universe and Gohan hastily calms himself to try and sense for Vegeta's signature. However, they don't find a thing. Gohan, a voice whispers from beside them. Future Vegeta arrives from around the corner. Gohan looks great to see him here, and he has surpassed his power so that Goku Black can't sense him. Goku clocks onto this immediately and looks up to the skies as he senses the being's power. That's right, he won't have my ki control. Will he even be able to use some of my skills, he wonders. He'd acquired certain techniques after training his ki control in several Saiyan programs, so if this being hasn't gone through the same arduous and strenuous training in his body, how could he use those same techniques? Greetings Saiyans, it's a pleasure that you are here to help us, Future Vegeta states. Vegeta feels annoyed by his future counterpart's mentality, and this future warrior finds his reaction quite amusing. This future Vegeta has spent years training to try and survive and protect those around him. He has had no time for selfishness or ego. Over time, after training up Gohan and trying to navigate the treacherous world of the future timeline, those qualities of overconfidence and callousness slowly but inevitably faded away. Raditz just looks to this future Vegeta, then looks back to Vegeta and looks back at the future warrior. He just chuckles lightly before the two groups of warriors continue their conversation. All of these warriors can suppress their strength, but the arrival of future Gohan in his time machine means that they are encountered by the likes of Goku Black in no time. Future Vegeta and future Gohan freeze up and look totally furious upon seeing him. Almost in reflex, they enter their Super Saiyan God forms, and as they do so they can feel their bodies healing itself from the injuries that they have. However, this is only up to a point. If they don't have enough energy to run the healing process, then it can't just work magic. Hello there Saiyans, I see that you have brought reinforcements, a past version of Vegeta and Goku, the reason that I have managed to come so far toward completing my goal, Goku Black says, raising his arms. What's your goal? Goku asks, out of the blue. To eradicate the world of all mortals, he bluntly states, surprising the Saiyans that have heard this for the first time. Goku can't even stop himself and lifts into flight, ready to face him. I see that you're ready to fight already, let's begin. Before Goku Black can finish his sentence, Goku swings out his Sadala slash right at him. Goku Black however follows up with the same technique. His slash is far less powerful and gets absorbed into Goku's. Upon seeing this happen, Goku Black extends his arm and just lets the slash cut off his arm completely. He grunts in pain and the others look very confused upon watching this happen. However, future Vegeta and future Gohan know exactly what is about to come next. He uses the wound transfer so that it's applied onto Goku and he loses his arm in the process. The future warriors watch this happen and actually look quite confused. How did he manage to do that? Father really is strong, Gohan says. What did he do that was so surprising, Raditz asks. We've never even got him to draw blood, it's like he's got metal skin or something, Gohan says. This observation falls in line with the fact that Goku Black is wearing a special gi that he has managed to paint black himself. It just drops off, but Goku then applies the same skill and his arm almost latches back onto his body. Goku Black's arm drops off and he isn't willing to lose the other injury swap that he must use this day, however his arm is gone and spewing blood wildly. Goku Black looks at this injury and is annoyed that if he wants his arm back he's going to have to waste his final arm swap. The only other viable option for him would be to wait for the Ascendant Gi to slowly heal his arm again. The Gi's abilities at healing without this technique are greatly diminished, as the wound kind of just stumps over after a few seconds. The fight continues and the two beings clash. Goku takes the first punch from his evil counterpart and just forces his head against the knuckles in his cheek. Goku Black can't seem to move his fist any further and Goku capitalizes on his lost arm to hit him in the places that he struggles to block. He throws a flurry of punches, then Goku Black uses practically the only chance that he is given to hit the fighter back himself. This punch of his isn't any ordinary punch though and is the delayed strike skill. It lands on the original Goku's gi, but the attack doesn't really hurt him that badly. As for the delayed strike, it also does pretty much nothing to him. How come he's so weak, Goku wonders, watching this fighter. He has some of his system's abilities, but from what he can see he doesn't have all of them. Even if he does have access to all of them, how would he know how to perform all the techniques? His system doesn't have a skills page, he has to mentally remember all the techniques that he knows. Goku wants to have a great fight here. He can feel his Saiyan instincts kicking in, but he also wants to end this as quickly as possible. This world has been reduced to a somber world of suffering and darkness. He cannot let a person that has caused such darkness to continue to live. The Saiyan enters his god form and then enters the realm with the Saiyan kings. "It's you again, it's been a while, what's the issue now?" a king asks, much more politely. These people seem to have warmed up to him a lot more, and Goku can actually have meaningful conversations with them without having each sentence having a double meaning behind it. "I'm fighting an evil version of myself. He has the system and my abilities, and I need to find a way to beat him." This makes the Saiyan king that heard this laugh. "Good luck with that. I guess we ought to give you a good bunch if you want to have a chance at beating yourself," he says, extending his arm. Goku returns to the real world and gets imbued with the power of their ki. The nature of the hybrid ki that is formed is chaotic, but when he is just in his Super Saiyan God form, his body can contain it. It makes him look a little more vascular, but that's about it. He still has the same slim, sleek physique that he had beforehand. Goku shoots himself at Goku Black and begins using his after image skill. Goku wants to make sure that he ends this guy quickly, and he has basically checkmated him with this. If he tries to use his wound transfer, Goku can reverse it, and with both of their transfers done for the day, he'd have to deal with the injuries. Just from this strategy, the fight has swayed heavily in Goku's favour. Several clones of Goku assail the Pseudo Saiyan, and after the delay he receives a sequence of insanely powerful blows. He ends up coughing blood, and then one of the clones uses the Sadala Slash. This slash cuts off his other arm, and the remaining clones shoot a barrage of death beams from the several different directions. Since they are going in several different directions, there isn't actually much that he can do to evade all of them. Therefore, he is caught by a few. They shoot right through his body, then Goku's clones disappear once the skill has finished. Goku then opens his palm and reveals a ball of glowing white energy. Within the white energy though appears a wave of flowing colours of ki. The ball starts spinning around violently and Goku shoots it right at the being. The blast hits Goku Black right in his stomach and explodes violently. The light released is so bright that they can't even see what's happened. The only one that can keep their eyes open through this dazzling explosion is Goku. He looks attentively at the source of the light but can see that the warrior's body is still intact. It's quite strange and he's struggling to figure out what's going on. He's hit Goku Black numerous times in Super Saiyan God, and Goku Black is still in his base form and can't actually utilise the full power of his own body. The light dies down and the warriors can't locate Goku Black. However, after a brief time of trying to sense his ki, they are horrified to see that it's still intact. They can see that it's fallen quite significantly, but Goku is just confused upon realising this. How could he still be alive after an attack so powerful like that? Goku lands and stands ahead of the unmoving body of Goku Black. He is stunned for a time and can't understand how this being could still be alive. Suddenly Goku Black springs back to his feet and the ground breaks under the explosion of his aura. The Saiyan has completely lost sanity, but as he is stood there, something appears in his field of view. System life-saving procedure activated. Goku Black's hair lifts and becomes pink, and the very same bracelet that Goku was wearing starts imbuing him with the immense power of hybrid ki. Pink hair, like my form, Vegeta realises watching this happen. Goku Black roars from this power output, then races right toward Goku, punching him in the stomach. The strike has an insane amount of weight to it and Goku is shot backward like an arrow. The wind whistling past his body as he soars past breaks the glass of the broken buildings that surround them. As he retreats though, Goku has just the right game plan. Shutting his eyes, he slows himself to a stop and remains stood still. Goku Black continues in his swift advance and roars before throwing a full power punch at him. However, Goku swiftly swerves past the incoming attack like he's water. Another is shot in his direction, but he moves in a similar way. Both attacks don't even touch him and then he steps away a few meters. A majestic aura of vibrant colour envelops his body and he opens his eyes to reveal silver irises. The release of energy captures the attention of the God Ki users from afar, and Goku seems to be outputting alarming amounts of power now. Goku can feel the instability through using hybrid ki alongside Ultra Instinct. It's hard for him to keep his mind intact, but he remains resilient and fights through the pain. He uses his exceptional ki control to keep the ki contained within his body so that he doesn't gas out and weaken over time. Zooming toward Goku Black, he lands a delayed strike to the mindless beast's chest. Initially, the punch still hurts the warrior significantly. He snarls upon taking this hit head on, but he then coughs out pure blood when the delayed strike hits. Goku Black collapses to his knees, then Goku swings in a kick to launch him across the street that they're in. He's sent crashing through an entire building and looks gravely injured. Goku Black just shoots himself out from the building once again and looks furious and just as mindless as before. With a few death beams, Goku manages to cripple his enemy and turn their full pelt sprint into a sluggish jog. Each step that this being makes causes them complete agony, and Goku can tell this is the case from their unusual irregular movement. However, Goku Black's mind is totally gone, pain will no longer stop him completely. He slowly steps forward, but Goku then lifts his hand and begins growing his hybrid ki deterioration energy blast. The blast grows and grows in the palm of his hand until it's an alarming size. "Get away from here now," Goku calls out to his awestruck friends. The group of Saiyans retreat as fast as they can, giving him miles and miles of distance as they shoot themselves backward. The swelling energies of ki flow and collide with each other, then Goku shoots it off his palm toward the enemy and the light is much brighter than it was before. A human would probably go blind if they stared at this scene for too long. The light fades and Goku Black is actually no more. Finally, Goku thinks to himself, having taken down the threat. Above him though is Zamasu watching this all happen. Goku isn't concerned though and calls up his trusty friend Zeno to erase him. Zamasu doesn't become one with the universe at the time of his death, so the universe is still intact after this. All Zeno has to do is specifically erase Zamasu, not the universe as a whole. This allows future Gohan and Vegeta to remain and rebuild what is left of their timeline. Goku is given a lot of praise for his work and the arc ends. Now the following arc that comes is the Tournament of Power. Nobody is ready for what Universe 7 is capable of. Before the tournament, Goku faces off against Toppo and the fight is not even close. He ends up wiping the floor with him and pretty much renders him unable to fight after a single shot to his stomach. This captures the attention of the other gods watching because Toppo is supposed to be training to become his universe's god of destruction. If Goku has taken him down so easily like this, how could their fighters have a chance against him? Goku, Vegeta, Yamoshi and Raditz train intensely with each other and continue to grow their strengths. Goku's power only continues to rise and now using MUI, Whis cannot totally slack when sparring Goku. Beerus spends most of his time sleeping and eating, so he doesn't know how strong Goku has gotten yet. Most of the time when he sees him sparring, it's in his base form to try and incorporate his Ultra Instinct into the state. Beerus is still stronger than Goku when he's in his base form since the forms of UI and others have massive multipliers. That's what makes Goku eclipse his power. When Goku uses Ultra Instinct, his reflex stat is buffed up heavily, giving him amazing fighting abilities. With his much stronger base form and the hybrid ki from the Saiyan Kings to use at pretty much any time, he has cemented himself as the strongest mortal in the universe. The tournament team is made and these are the members. Firstly, the 4 Saiyans are chosen right away, being Goku, Vegeta, Yamoshi and Raditz. Following that, they decide to pick Gohan since he is a Saiyan 2 and with some training he should get stronger quickly. Along with him there is Tien, Krillin and Master Roshi. With 2 more places they choose Frieza and actually Goten. There is no Piccolo to fill this void and so they need to choose another fighter that can make the cut. Trunks is younger than Goten and so isn't as strong as him. They don't have another member to choose so they pick him instead. The fighters head to the tournament and the other universes are in for a whole lot. As the tournament begins, Goku charges toward the Pride Troopers and shoots out a single ki blast. His ki blast then explodes, launching every Pride Trooper off the ring except for Toppo, Dispo and Jiren. Toppo sees this amazing feat of power and rushes right in to try and avenge his fallen comrades. Somehow though, Goku evades his incoming punch with utmost grace. All that he manages to graze are his extended hairs from his immense speed. Before he can try and attack Goku again, he receives an insanely powerful punch to the stomach from a Super Saiyan Raditz. Raditz isn't like Goku where he has an incredibly powerful base form, therefore Toppo can take this punch without just dying basically. Toppo looks enraged and swings out his mammoth arm to go right for him. Raditz takes this punch to the face and is thrown backward. His base Super Saiyan form isn't doing much to increase his power, but this ticks Raditz right over the edge. He shouts and powers up into his Super Saiyan God form, making him hundreds of times stronger. His fiery red aura blazes outward as he charges right toward Toppo. The burly warrior is taken off guard by his sudden assault. Even in just Super Saiyan God, Toppo has now become no match for the Saiyan. He takes a sequence of punches to his stomach that sound like gunshots or even explosions. Each shot feels infinitely worse than that too, and he slowly falls to the ground after struggling to remain on his feet. He holds his stomach in pain as he can feel his internal organs screaming in his abdomen. He looks up with weak eyes and gritted teeth, struggling to steal through this agony. "Goodbye," Raditz says, launching a ki blast right at Toppo's face to launch him off the ring. "Is that the guy Goku had to face before? No wonder he defeated him so easily," Raditz says, before moving on to his next targets. Dispo stands ahead of Gohan, who doesn't really look in the event right now. He received some training beforehand but doesn't have anything like his ultimate form. He just about manages to access his Super Saiyan 2 state for the first time. Dispo uses his overwhelming speed and drops the young Saiyan onto his knees. However, Gohan retaliates and transforms into his Super Saiyan state. He throws a punch at the speedy fighter only to see it miss completely. He has several attempts to try and take him down but none of his attacks properly land. All of them just hit his flowing aura instead. With a single punch to his stomach, Gohan is back on the ground struggling to control his breath. As he is on the ground, he thinks of the stories told to him of his future counterpart, how valiant and disciplined he was. After all these years, he just left training behind because he felt like others could basically do his job for him. No, that can't be possible. Keeping himself strong is an absolute priority, but for the past several years, he's literally just left that behind. Gohan punches the ground, annoyed at his apparent weakness. He can't even touch this fighter and can't even properly track him when he moves. Now he feels totally powerless, and to be honest, he is. The only reason Gohan hasn't been thrown out the ring right now is that the arrogant Dispo would rather enjoy his superiority than try and take this fighter down. Dispo goes in to try and eliminate Gohan, but he receives a powerful punch from Yamoshi. Stand Saiyan, Yamoshi urges, before he charges at Dispo in Super Saiyan God. Yamoshi is now superior to Goku's cannon power, so Dispo struggles to keep up with him. His speed is overwhelming and intense, allowing him to just throw in numerous attacks. Dispo receives an uppercut to his chin, then lifts his arms to try and block another punch headed his way. Yamoshi discerns his intentions immediately and instead aims for his stomach. He throws his fist into his gut in the form of a devastating body shot. Dispo coughs out blood and falls to his knees, then Yamoshi kicks him off the ring to eliminate him. Stay on your feet, fight with everything you have. That's the only way to have the highest chances of staying in the fight. Remember, this is a battle for the whole universe. It's us versus them, just know that, Yamoshi explains, before blasting away in a sprint. Goku walks along the ring as chill as ever, looking for opponents to face. When any fighter even attempts to attack Goku, he shows them his true strength and eliminates them at a moment's notice. The reason Goku isn't as engaged is because he doesn't really think any of these fighters could prove to be a challenge to him. However, to satiate his Saiyan desire for intense battle, he keeps his hopes up. The Saiyan remains attentive, surveying the battlefield for any fighters performing exceptionally. That is when he finds Jiren, the strongest Pride Trooper. He knows who Jiren is and he looks to be very powerful. He stands on the battlefield with his arms crossed. If anybody's gonna be a challenge for Goku, it's gonna be him. Goku shoots a death beam at Jiren and the fighter springs into action. He dips past the pink beam of energy and Goku is surprised to see how fast he is. Jiren then shoots himself toward Goku and throws the first punch. Goku swiftly evades and Jiren isn't even fast enough to touch his hair. Jiren hasn't decided to go full on from the beginning, but this is a lethal mistake. Goku kicks him in the stomach and drops him to his knees. This pain makes Jiren's eyes still and Goku simply awaits his next attack. Jiren cracks the ground from pushing off it and goes on to try and assail Goku with a punch. Goku taps it away before kicking Jiren in the stomach with the use of his delayed destruction skill. The Pride Trooper is just strong enough to tense his abdomen and take on the attack, but he still feels winded. He even stumbles down to a palm, then he gets hit by the real delayed strike. Blood shoots out his mouth as the force is applied onto his stomach and he drops right onto his hands and knees. Jiren's hands tremble under just his own weight and he ends up coughing out even more blood as he lays there. Sorry, I thought you were stronger, Goku whispers, not loud enough for Jiren to hear him. Defeated and in utter agony, Jiren cannot believe that he has been subdued this quickly. He scales above his very own god of destruction, but he has somehow been reduced to this state in just a single attack. How could his master be proud of him if he's this weak? These thoughts rage on in his mind wildly as Jiren struggles to even keep himself sane and controlled. As he tries to motivate himself to get up, the crippling agony in his stomach is just too much. Jiren can't be eliminated if he remains on the ring, so Goku just shoves him off completely. The strongest fighter of Belmont's universe is gone, just like that. The three strongest Pride Troopers are also gone, and the main issue now is Kale. Kale has gone berserk and is eliminating fighters like clockwork. She mindlessly goes from target to target and strikes them down with her monstrous power. Fighters like Gohan and the humans stand no chance at keeping her at bay. With this, Caulifla attempts to fuse with her sister and she just manages to do so using the Potara earrings. Light shines off the two earrings and they shoot themselves toward each other to then fuse into the being known as Kefla. Kefla stands confidently against the foe stood ahead of her and zooms toward Gohan. He is too weak to even prepare himself properly and he's hit with a single punch to throw him right out the ring. Gohan actually managed to go toe to toe with Kefla in the manga, but Gohan in this continuity is way weaker. He's just learned how to go Super Saiyan 2 and has never stepped foot in the hyperbolic time chamber, so he stands no chance against the fused warrior. Kefla stands proudly after having eliminated pretty much every human fighter of Universe 7 and the Universe 11 fighters as well. The first fighter that she sees is Vegeta and she zooms at him with arrogance. Vegeta keeps his arms crossed and steps past her with absolute ease. As she squeaks to a stop, she soon realizes that the number of fighters in the event has drastically decreased. Goku and Raditz are currently talking to each other while Yamoshi throws a fighter right off the ring. Vegeta then kicks her in the back, and this kick in just his base form launches her into the central pole of the arena. She's in her Super Saiyan state, but it still isn't enough. Kefla is almost totally crippled by this single attack, and Vegeta then rushes forward to then throw her to the ring's edge. Kefla looks hopeless as she looks around to see that she is the final warrior left. "You stayed until the very end, I commend you for that," Vegeta says, as the remaining Saiyans flock to the prince's side. "Goodbye," Vegeta says, almost appearing in front of Kefla. With a single finger flick to her forehead, she is thrown off, and Universe 7 are deemed the winners in a total and complete rout. With the wish that they are given, Yamoshi remembers the faces of Kaba and the other Universe 6 Saiyans that remain. Being the moral man that he is, he votes for the other universes to return in the hopes that he can meet those Universe 6 Saiyans again. What follows now is the Broly movie. Frieza is revived for his efforts in the tournament, even though the Saiyans did the majority of the work. However, Frieza still managed to trick Frost into taking sides with him like he did in the canon timeline. Now he goes on to acquire Paragus and Broly. He returns to Earth with Broly, the towering figure that the Saiyans meet firsthand. Yamoshi is very excited to see 2 more Saiyans, and Paragus gets enraged upon seeing Vegeta. "Vegeta," he blurts out, seeing him. The prince looks a little confused since he has never seen this man before in his life. Judging from his whitening hair as a Saiyan, he is sure that he hasn't seen him either. Goku can tell that this man has instead seen his father or maybe his grandfather. He has the ancient Saiyans within his bracelet to communicate with, and all of them look very similar to Vegeta. The only thing that changes between them is their physique, age and stature. Of course, the realm that he enters to gain their power is very dark, and he can only really see them in silhouettes. Broly ends up being sent toward the prince, who takes the battle head on. Just as usual, in his base form, Broly is like an ant to him. Vegeta dodges a punch in for his face and grabs Broly's extended arm. Following that, he hurls Broly into an adjacent ice mountain to shatter it completely. For a moment, the rubble remains still, and Vegeta believes that he has defeated him. However, he explodes from the melting rubble and charges right for Vegeta again. It takes Broly much longer before he manages to overpower Vegeta's base form. This is just because the same prince is way stronger in this continuity. Sparring Goku means that he is constantly facing a warrior several times stronger than himself. Without his special royal form to provide him with an insanely high multiplier, there's nothing he can really do to Goku when he's in that state. Vegeta catches a punch from Broly only to get viciously kicked in his chest. The punch sent him flying back, and Broly charges right after him while shouting. With a second punch, Vegeta is launched into the sky, now with a bruise on his face. Broly gets ready to rush right into battle again, but Vegeta shouts and enters his Super Saiyan form. His aura is powerful enough to blast Broly right away, forcing him several tens of meters back. The Saiyan looks on incredulously as Vegeta remains in place, confident and firm. Broly doesn't know what this form is, so why would he fear it? He attempts to attack Vegeta in the same way, only to get rocked by a single punch from him. This time, Broly is launched through several mountains and comes to a stop by getting wedged in a final one. Vegeta just flies through the debris as it continues to fall and arrives in front of Broly in a split second. The Saiyan looks startled upon seeing him travel so quickly before he tries to release himself from the ice. Broly's eyes turn to yellow, and Vegeta looks in on this happening. He wonders what this is, then he remembers a training session that he had with Goku. Goku was explaining a form of his that he doesn't use very often anymore. A state where the Uzaru form is utilised in one's base, Ikari. Broly blasts out the mountain and hits Vegeta square in his face. Vegeta blocks the next attack before flying up as fast as he can to try and get Broly off his tail. However, the distance between the two fighters steadily decreases. Vegeta pierces the clouds from his insane speed, but then starts dipping down to try and create some distance between him and Broly. This is futile, however, since Broly grabs him with his mammoth hand and slams him into the icy floor. He throws down a haymaker, but Vegeta rolls away in just the nick of time to keep himself untouched. The ground rumbles as Broly's fists impact it, and cracks scurry out from the point of collision. Vegeta looks on with surprise, but also slight gratitude that he wasn't hit by that attack head on. Broly turns to Vegeta and shouts with anger. His mind is totally gone and he's lost control. With the mind of the Uzaru in his base form, he's like a maniacal beast. Vegeta's body cloaks in a thin red aura before he powers up into his Super Saiyan God state. Broly roars and hits Vegeta right on the chest, only to see the prince not move in the slightest. He rocks Broly with a single punch to his stomach, then throws a swiveling kick to launch him away. This time Broly can't get up as easily. Blood flows out his broken nose, and he looks drowsy upon being hit in the head so powerfully. His mind is still blank and powered by nothing but primal instincts, but his brain has basically rattled in his skull. He's still stunned by the hit. Broly gains his control after a few seconds and races toward Vegeta. The two continue their fight, and the gap between them closes yet again. Broly manages to grow strong enough to give God Vegeta a challenge, but this also takes a lot longer for him to do. Their punches shake the battlefield and cause the icy terrain to switch into a volcanic magma covered battleground. The heat of the area increases intensely and Broly is starting to match Vegeta's power. The Saiyan Prince can see this but wants to end this right here and right now. Seeing Broly mindlessly swinging at him again, Vegeta throws himself back and powers up into his Super Saiyan Blue form. With a precise and full power punch, Broly is nearly knocked out and launched into magma below. Upon seeing this, Frieza sees that Broly won't be doing much against these fighters. God Vegeta has almost defeated him with just those 2 precise attacks, and Broly still struggles to return to his feet after a few seconds. Broly's power is growing, but Frieza is not satisfied. Frieza lifts his 2 fingers and aims them right at Paragus. He shoots his death beam only to see his own death beam meet another. They meet at just the perfect angle so that they explode before they hit Paragus. The explosion is still enough to knock back the Saiyan of advanced age. What? He blurts out upon seeing Goku flying in the sky. He lands beside Frieza and Paragus retreats even more upon seeing this happen. I won't let you kill another Saiyan, and I feel like this is what might end up happening with Broly now that you've sent him here, Goku orders. Frieza's lucky that he can't sense his power, because if he could, he would submit to his power right away. He scoffs and falls back upon seeing Goku because he knows that he won't be doing much in this state. Broly slowly emerges from the lava, weakened but still possessing the unwavering will to carry on fighting. How does this fighter never yield? It must be that humanoid Uzaru state of his, Vegeta thinks, before his aura switches to an elegant pink. He enters his royal Vegeta state and almost appears in front of Broly from his insane speed. The Saiyan has become stronger than every god of destruction along with Raditz too. Broly comes flying out the lava, but Vegeta taps him on the neck and knocks him out in one go. The Saiyan is then thrown over his shoulder and Goku basically scares Frieza into leaving the planet since he is up to no good at all. As Frieza is forced to leave, Broly and Paragus get to stay on Earth with the other Saiyans. Paragus is more than happy to live alongside fellow Saiyans and is glad to know that the Prince Vegeta isn't like his father was. During this time also, Broly starts going through some rather intensive training. His main task is to control his anger though, so there isn't much of Broly seen for now like usual. What comes next is the Moro arc. Merit has arrived on Earth and is looking for the likes of the Saiyans to help in the fight against Moro. Boo is not alive in this continuity and so he is in search of other warriors that could possibly be strong enough to help them. Upon watching the Tournament of Destroyers on God's Cube, he feels like they could be a good asset. The Saiyans aren't exactly asleep, but Merit is an angel and possesses a very good level of stealth. With his God Ki as an angel, the Saiyans can't detect him like he's immortal. However, Goku can sense his presence. They are at Capsule Corp together and Goku turns to see a retreating Ki signature. Goku's Ki control is phenomenal and this applies to both ordinary Ki and God Ki. Therefore he can easily follow the warrior, but a blast gets shot at him from a very speedy Meris. Goku isn't exactly on his guard right now and the stun gun blast hits his Gi. However, it doesn't do much. His powerful white Gi takes the impact and with his much greater durability, the blast doesn't do anything. The others are alerted to the scene and watch on as this odd being has arrived and tried to attack Goku. The Saiyans are now on high alert, but Goku tries to calm down everyone. Wait, why did you try and blast me with that gun? Why are you here? Goku asks. The man did try to attack him, but he doesn't seem evil in nature. It seems my attempt at neutralizing you has been futile. Anyways, yes, I am not here to try and harm you and I have no ill intent, Merit explains, placing his gun by his side. What, so you tried to blast my brother and just say that you didn't mean any ill intent? How can we know that for sure? Raditz asks. I could try and attack you guys again, couldn't I? However, that is not the point. There is a powerful foe out there intending to cause destruction and mayhem. I believe that you guys will be strong enough and willing to stop him. Who is this foe? Goku asks, intrigued to fight a strong fighter once again. Merit then goes on to explain who Moro is and what he intends to do now that he is free. This scares the Saiyan but simultaneously makes them excited. Their Saiyan blood boils at the chance of another heated fight and they are brought to the planet of Namek for the first time ever. However, Yamoshi is surprised to see Namekians here. So this is their home planet, is it? Yamoshi realizes. What, did you see any Namekians in your first life? Goku asks, interested in his statement. I can't name the Namekian, he likes to keep himself covert and he was a great man, he's the reason you have your system, a master creator. Goku still can't place a finger on who this person really is, but can tell that Yamoshi doesn't really want to dive into the specifics right now. Therefore he stops with the questions for now. This planet wasn't invaded by Frieza in the Namek saga and remains unharmed. Guru is now dead and Mori has taken this place just like in canon. Dende is just some Namekian living on this planet now much older than he was in the series in Z. There they meet the terrifying warrior that is Moro. Vegeta didn't harm any Namekians in specific, so he feels no need to go first to try and redeem himself. Therefore, Yamoshi takes the chance to go first. He's the weakest, and so if he can win, he can win. If he can't, some of the much stronger Saiyans can step in to try and fight Moro. I used to be around centuries ago, but your name never popped up. I wonder why that is, Yamoshi says, before powering up into his Super Saiyan form. I wonder, Moro replies, before Yamoshi shoots himself at him. Yamoshi attempts to fight Moro and destroys the rocks and trees that the magician throws at him using telekinesis. Telekinesis, I always wanted to have that ability, Yamoshi says back, before entering his Super Saiyan God state. In this form, he is still assailed with a wave of blasts, summoned from the planet itself. Goku can feel the life force of the planet being sucked right into Moro and is fascinated by his abilities. More blasts of energy charge toward Yamoshi and he ends up being caught by one. The beam of energy slams him into the ground and forces him across the floor. The sheer heat of the blast kills the surrounding life, leaving a black trail of scorched earth. Yamoshi looks quite bruised from this direct attack and raises up swiftly. Let me step in, I don't want you getting all the fun, Raditz says. Yamoshi knows he could just use Super Saiyan Blue, but he understands the Saiyan's thrill for battle. Yamoshi's Saiyan instincts are more in control and he resembles the father of the group. He is by far the most wise. Raditz dashes toward Moro using Super Saiyan God. He catches the man off guard and kicks in one of his knees. Right after doing so, he grabs his head and slams him through the small rock hill that they're stood on. Rock debris is launched out from the point of impact, and the Saiyan continues to throw down punch after punch upon seeing Moro barely able to prepare himself. Moro ends up coughing blood and feels broken bones upon taking these haymakers on his frail body. The ground continues to shake and quake under each strike, while Moro shouts in agony upon receiving the punches. Raditz, slightly breathing, lifts himself up and can see Moro covered in his own blood and frail. Looks like our job is done here, Raditz says, looking at Moro. However, Maris stands there and continues to look calm. It's not over yet, Saiyan, Maris announces. Moro lifts one of his hands and then starts sucking the life force straight from Raditz. As a result of him doing this, Raditz stomps in his head and the Saiyans can hear a crunch as he does this. Goku can see the gory scene from afar and this pretty much ends the life of the warrior. He tried to take my energy, I could feel him sapping it dry, Raditz says, wiping his bloody shield on the floor. You didn't mind if I killed him, right? Raditz says, walking back to the crew. Moro's life expectancy has been extended, but this doesn't make him totally immortal. Maris is stood there lost for words. He didn't know how strong these warriors were, and these fighters were given the advantage by fighting an old frail Moro from out of prison. Maris thanks the crew for their help and Raditz is given an honor by the octopus guy. Following this event, Granola wishes to become the strongest in the universe. He is given just 9 months left of his life, but the Cerealian is resolute. He is happy to receive the wish because he knows what he must do. The Heaters end up calling the Saiyans to try and manipulate them into fighting Granola. Raditz is kind of liking this contracting job they've been getting. They just get people that somehow find them and then get called up to fight foes. This time the likes of Goku, Vegeta, Raditz and Yamoshi head over to the scene to see what the problem is. To begin with, it's not like the Saiyans don't sense anything. Goku has taught much better ki control to Raditz, he has better ki control and so does Yamoshi. Goku can literally see Granola from afar and looks over to the area where a precise ki blast comes flying right at them. Goku swipes the blast away with a wave of his hand then points down to Granola below. There, I see him down there, Goku explains. His insane eyesight means that he can see Granola from their elevated position. From this, Granola chooses to reveal himself and not remain hidden. He charges up to the 4 Saiyans and takes them by surprise with his insane speed. For Granola to be the strongest in the universe, he must be stronger than MUI Goku. Therefore, the fighters look pretty much frozen as he moves forward. Goku is the only one that can kind of see him because his perception allows him to see those that move much faster than himself. However, when he sees him coming, he's like a sitting duck. He just about evades a punch coming from Granola after forcing himself out the way as fast as he could. Goku then swivels around and begins using Super Saiyan God to empower himself. He always likes to break the barrier of ki and enter the realm of God ki so that he gains access to his other neat skills. Goku splits into various after images from his insane speed and ki control, then these after images all rain down on Granola and attack him from various directions. A clone tries to use its Sadala slash from behind, but Granola leaps right over the incoming slash and punches down a clone in the same move. Granola eventually beats down the clones one by one before they even disappear and punches Goku into the Saiyans that are spectating at a distance. He knocks Raditz back from slamming into him, but he pushes off his brother and enters his Super Saiyan Blue evolution form. With Granola not at his peak strength, Goku is immediately given the advantage. Goku charges forward and uses his delayed destruction skill. Granola still looks injured from the initial strike, but is then taken aback by the following strike that hits his body. The following strike, with a power 10 times Goku's current power level, rattles his body. He coughs out blood from taking this attack, but then starts to look translucent. Goku wonders what's going on, but then sees that he is nowhere to be found. Granola then reveals himself again, now in his proper body. "I'm surprised that you managed to take out my clone so easily," Granola says, with contempt. Goku doesn't immediately reply and just shoots out a Sadala slash with the wave of his palm. Granola evades the attack rather seamlessly and beelines it toward Goku once he is given another chance to strike. Goku feels the weight of his next punch and can tell that he's stronger now. He receives a large bruise on his cheek because he isn't using anywhere near his full power right now. The wound on his face starts to seal up and he can taste his metallic blood in his mouth due to the hit. To try and close things up, Goku begins reaching further. Granola is adamant on causing as much damage to Goku as he can, but the Saiyan responds by entering his UI Omen state. The first punch he throws misses the mark completely and Goku lands a kick to his chest. Granola feels a rib crack upon impact with this hit and he can't quite understand why Goku is so strong now. Goku arrives by his side and punches him square in his jaw to launch him away. Goku is stronger than Granola because of his champion Gi. Even without his champion Gi and the hybrid ki summoned from the kings before him, Goku is still stronger than his other Saiyan comrades. With champion Gi, it adds a 10 times boost to his power right away, further increasing his body's durability too. Granola looks furious and goes in to attack him again, but Goku takes the punch that he throws square on his chest. It creates a shockwave, but Goku just remains stood there, unhurt. "Why are you actually attacking us?" Goku asks. This question makes Granola's blood boil and he throws a punch at his chest again to see him not move. "You Saiyans destroyed everyone I ever loved. You're all demons, malevolent savage demons. I'm here to get rid of you so that the universe can finally be at peace." As Granola lands this punch, Naito comes out of nowhere and is there to inform Granola about what went down with the Saiyans. He hears that Goku's father, Bardock, saved his life and Goku almost feels memories rushing back into his mind. He can see several different memories of his time as a young Saiyan and he sees a system notification, something that he hasn't seen in a while. "Hidden quest complete, remember who you are. New transformation, ascendant Saiyan." The user has become totally resonant with his Saiyan power and has unlocked his true Saiyan potential. This power utilizes the full strength of the Saiyan bracelet and breaks the user past the limits of mortality toward the skies of infinity. What a form, Goku thinks to himself, seeing this. He feels like his new Saiyan instincts have totally been synced with his being. Goku has now maximized the power of the Saiyan species through this. The only way for him to grow stronger now is to take different paths. He looks down at his body and sees a slight golden gleam before it vanishes. As the fighters are calmed, Gas reveals himself as the strongest warrior in the universe. However, Goku achieved this transformation after Gas's wish. The fighters prepare for battle, but Goku instructs everybody to stay back. "Don't worry, I can take him," Goku states. "If he got my wish too, he's now the strongest in the universe. Be careful," Granola insists, from behind him. "Us Saiyans aren't bounded by limits. We can continue to grow in strength. He might have been stronger than me a few minutes ago, but not anymore," Goku says back. Granola has no clue what he means because what could he have done in a few minutes? Gas smiles upon seeing the Saiyan stand alone to face him. He's the strongest in the universe, there's no way he could beat him alone. Goku's body begins to light up and he meets the ancient Saiyans once again. "You've done great here, Saiyan. I never would have thought the Saiyan race would be capable of this much power," King says, before noticing that his body lights up. The Saiyans are revealed in all their glory and Goku can finally see them for real this time. The realm switches from black to white and Goku is happy to see all the kings in their glory. Their armor is embellished with golden jewelry and scintillating crystals. "Thank you for everything, guys. I wouldn't be here without you all," Goku says with gratitude. "There's no need to thank us, you found this power on your own. You searched and became one with your hidden power. You did what all of us could not. Remember that," the Saiyan King announces. They all lift their arms and begin feeding power into Goku, who roars as he feels the power flowing through his body. Shot up into the power of MUI, the powers of the hybrid ki and MUI merge and amplify each other. Goku can feel his body transforming and he is covered in a cloak that resembles the galaxy itself. Within the loose array of dazzling galaxies are lone milky dots, stars. His body looks dark, but simultaneously bright and stunning. Goku looks down to this new body of his and chuckles. As he does so, it's like the weight of the universe is behind his voice. New title, Ascendant Saiyan God. User, Kakarot brackets Goku. Titles, One Man Army, Royal's Bane, Ascendant Saiyan God. Key control, 12++. Intelligence, 9++. reflexes 11++, durability 16++, adaptability 8++, perception 10++. Goku looks back up to Gas, who charges right at him to try and fight him. As he tries to stab Goku with a pitchfork, he moves to the side and in the process of doing so creates several after images of himself. His speed is so great that he starts distorting reality with the use of his after image skill. The clones disappear before they even attack Gas, and the fighter helplessly swings his pitchfork at Goku to try and hit him. However, employing the use of Ultra Instinct, the blades never reach anywhere near him. Gas just stands there incredulously, totally taken off guard by the warrior's abilities. He's supposed to be the strongest in the universe, but can't even see this warrior when he moves. Gas shouts in anger before ripping off his headpiece. He can then feel his abilities taking form. His heater blood is granting him power that is naturally locked away within him, and he looks back to Goku with pupilless eyes. He roars and charges forward, and Goku acts. In Goku's view, almost everything stops. He lifts his hand, and to the people watching him, it's like his arm is teleported into its new position. A single white ki blast appears in his palm and he shoots it at the heater. The entire area lights up white and Gas is vaporized in the heat of the blast. A large portion of the ground is shaved off because of the explosion that is released. The light dims down and Goku just lowers his hand. Goku has defeated Gas with ease and the granola arc is brought to an abrupt close. The fight is over and he has claimed his rightful place as the strongest fighter in the entire universe. So that will conclude What If Goku Had a System. Please tell me something you liked about this video or something that I should improve on for the next one. Thanks so much for watching and I'll see you in the next video.